Okay. Alright. Gotta pop on my essential open Raycon earbuds. Send out a message. 911. If any police are out there listening, Breeder HQ is under attack by terrorists. I think they're terrorists. They're pretty interested in money. They keep asking about bearer bonds. But anyway, I've escaped into the air vents, and I'm pretty sure I can defeat them by watching and explaining all 5 Die Hard movies. But in the event that I can't, I've got one final message sponsored by Raycon.
Edward Banger. IHOP bathroom.
Oh, thank God.
You sound crisp.
I'll tell you what, dude, I've been using these Essential Open earbuds pretty much every day since I got them. Like whether I'm editing videos, going for a run in the field near my house, or, thwarting terrorists.
Merry Christmas, Mr. Breeding.
Is that the villain?
That's right.
I called you Mr. Why? Because I don't believe in fake degrees, like centigrade.
How are either of you on this channel? Neither of you should be able to be on this channel.
Mr. Breeding?
Mr. Breeding. Obviously, I can hear you.
Mr. What?
My earbuds' open ear design and lightweight build allow me to hear what's going on around me, like if a terrorist was crawling up behind me. Which I know there isn't. And I don't even have to sacrifice sound quality. Plus, it's got like 36 hours of battery life, and if I can't shoot all these terrorists in the next 36 hours, then I deserve to be exploded.
Is this... I'm not hearing...
Wow. These people look like they're having a genuinely good time.
Yeah, for sure. And great news! All Raycon audio products, including these sweet Essential Open earbuds, are 20% off.
Come again? That deal's too good to be true.
All you gotta do is head over to buyraycon.com/JordanBreedingOpen. Just order by December 15th if you want some new earbuds for Christmas. And hey, if you don't like them or the entire building explodes before you get them, well, they've got a 30-day return guarantee.
Is that good?
Yeah. Just click the link in the description box of the video that'll definitely get made of this historic event, or go to buyraycon.com/JordanBreedingOpen to get up to 20% off during this holiday season.
This is gonna save Daddy's honey hams come Christmas time.
All right, I'm gonna watch the movies now.
Is he hearing any of this? I can't hear him.
Hey, sorry to add a second intro to this already relatively long intro for this video, but my original version of this video got blocked all to heck. It's like a beef and cheddar in the tummy. Blocked. Couldn't release it. There's really no way around it. So I've spent the last, 15 hours, something like that. It's pretty late. I don't know where I am. Trying to make a very YouTube compliant version, which is what this is. However, if you would like to see the original version of this, what I actually wanted to make, that's on Patreon. I'm sorry to say. I think this is still pretty funny, but it is very weird. This is much weirder than I meant to make. So if you want to see what I meant to make, Patreon. If you don't care, well, here's the weird one.
An airplane somewhat shittily by 1988 standards, but way better than 2025 standards, lands at LAX.
You don't like flying, do ya? What gives you that idea? Screech!
Much to John McClane here's chagrin. But actually, he'll be fine because his seatmate offers him some advice and offers Dave a new OnlyFans idea.
Make fists with your toes. Fists with your toes.
Sounds hot.
Trust me, I've been doing it for 9 years.
$4 million in a month? Yeah.
Now, I've never thought people with a fear of flying needed help calming down after the flight, but also if somebody tried to take their shoes off mid-flight, I'd grab John's gun here and just start freaking blasting.
It's okay, I'm a cop.
I don't want those dogs on my flight. John instead grabs a big-ass, not even technically teddy bear he's brought with him, and which realistically had to cost him like $1,000 in extra baggage fees. No, wait, I guess that's where the gun came in.
Trust me, I've been doing this for 11 years.
He then pounds a ciggy in the middle of the airport while ogling hot butts. I can't believe anybody survived the 80s.
California.
All those dangerous cigarette and human butts? Forget about it. Too much. John's picked up by Argyle the limo driver so they can both pop their limo cherries, which is actually really incredible and worth the wait.
Or is he married? He's married.
My wife and I are actually doing the same thing. Neither of us have ever ridden in a limo. And we're hoping to do that together. I have Ubered in a Kia Sorento, which is kind of the limousine of YouTube comedy writers, you know? They ride the Deflower Mobile up to John's wife's fancy office Christmas party, which is being held on Christmas Eve, which actually sucks kind of ass. Nobody wants to go to an office party on Christmas Eve, no matter how much cocaine or boobs there are.
Best Christmas ever.
Or is he married? He's married.
It's like they're being held hostage at work. Imagine how much that would suck. Case in point, John McClane's wife calls her daughter to be like, sorry, I'm not coming back until you're already in bed, but I'm sure your nanny will make this sweltering Los Angeles Christmas just as special as your own mother would.
Well, we'll see what Santa and Mommy can do, okay?
Good f***ing luck.
Oh, also nanny. Hola. John and I are somewhat estranged, as you know, but in the event that he and or the giant teddy bear wants to spend the night here, do you mind setting up the spare room?
She beat you up?
No, very funny, Argyle. No, actually it wasn't spousal abuse that led to our 6-month separation. It's the fact that I'm a grizzled New York City cop, and I wasn't sure that my wife's new career would take off in the way that it has. Also, I refuse to move because I'm one of those obnoxious New Yorkers who can't believe good pizza and bagels could possibly exist anywhere else.
Trust me.
And Argyle's like, okay, well, in the event that your estranged wife's nanny hasn't made up a spare bedroom for you, I'll just park my ass in the parking garage, as I apparently do not have a single friend or family member who wants to spend the holiday with me, and you can call me after you get tired of snorting all that white Christmas and motorboating all those elf boobies, as they say, and I'll take you somewhere else.
You're all right, Argyle. Just remember that when you sign for the tip.
And then pray for my soul.
But immediately, things don't look super great, given that Holly's currently going by her maiden name. Call me old-fashioned, but this means that she's going straight to hell. There's no less forgivable sin, especially if your maiden name is Italian. Anyway, John heads into the party and immediately sticks out like a sore cop and is just as immediately, kissed by a boy. Oh man, John is in over his head. They didn't even start teaching boy kissing in New York cop academies until 1996.
I believe I am in love.
He runs into his wife and it's kind of awkward, especially when she tries to explain away the last name thing with,
This is a Japanese company.
but how does that make any sense? Is this just some bullshit go-to excuse she uses to get out of things? Ma'am, you haven't paid your taxes in 3 years. Okay.
This is a Japanese company.
Well, why didn't you say so?
Like, she has pictures of her husband and children in her office,
This is Holly's husband.
and I don't think Japanese HR knows who John McClane is yet. This is the first movie. Most Japanese people didn't even know who Bruce Willis the actor was yet, though they would soon.
Daimotsu Miro Us.
If she sent in an application under Holly McClane, would they be like, oh, you must be married to that random New York City cop? No promotion.
Holly's policeman husband.
Daihatsu Mirais.
Unless she changed her last name while working there to be like, ooh, maybe I've gotten divorced from my husband. I'm so sad. I wish I had a promotion.
Ureteru no.
I've never worked in a real company. Is that obvious? Can you tell?
They figure a married woman's gonna... You are a married woman. You're married to me.
Wait, what?
Like, I don't get what the point she's making is. What, they don't get married in Japan? I'm having sex with all of the executives. Oh, I get it. It's Japanese.
I'm having sex with a lot of Japanese people. Yeah. Why don't you understand this?
I have you to thank for that. Seemed the least we could do.
Anyway, John calms himself down by fisting the carpet with his feet, which is smart. You don't want to get that carpet pregnant.
Son of a bitch.
Dave has gotten more than his fair share of carpets pregnant. Let me tell you. He does not use protection.
No, it's okay. They're Japanese.
Very mature.
In the parking garage, a truck pulls in, while in front of the lobby, a car with 2 dudes pulls up and shoots the security guard in his noggin.
2 points.
The more annoying one, who used to be known as Reverend Bruce, starts criminally hacking things that aren't the Bible. Oh, God! While the one with the more gorgeous head of hair takes out another guard with an incredibly unnecessary flashbang. The dude is facing the other way. He doesn't actively have his weapon pulled, and is just like some schmuck security guard. If anything, he now has a better chance to fight back because he knows he's under attack. Of course, counterpoint, if I had a bunch of flashbangs, I'd be using them like crazy. Avoid talking to somebody I kind of knew in high school, or like if I was in line at the supermarket, or if I was like in church and all the good pews were taken. Gotta save your flashbangs for the John McClane boss.
Right. Well, yeah, what an idiot. That's why they lost. No, spoiler alert.
Oh,
Sorry.
I am now killed.
But anyway, now a bunch of bad-looking dudes stream into the building behind a guy that looks exactly like Professor Snape if you're a dweeb, or exactly like Metatron if you're a cool sex haver.
Honestly, you bottom feeders and your arrogance, you think everybody's just trying to get in your knickers.
Nice suit.
While Argyle goes, guess I'm locked in this here parking garage. Might as well stay here literally all of this Christmas Eve night. Nothing matters. Hope I don't get fired for boofing my literal first ever limo pickup.
My boss thinks I'm on the way to Vegas.
With who? What's your plan when he realizes you didn't collect some insane Los Angeles to Las Vegas fare? He's gonna assume you stole the limo, right? What are you even saying? I know you're new.
Yeah.
Can't do that.
Sweetheart, have I ever lied to you?
Drive down to the Boston market and get yourself a turkey and gravy and sit in that parking lot.
Yeah, get yourself some beans.
Shut up.
The bad guys replaced the front desk guy with one of their own, which is why I never trust front desk guys, and I always want them to prove to me that they're not German. And they also kill the phone lines. And they head upstairs to the party to just blast things. And I'm starting to think that these guys are solemnly up to no good or on a holy crusade. Again, depends on your sex-having status. Let me tell you what, I am aware of the concept. I watched Dave in his carpet recently, and I'm like, huh.
Yeah, your entire context was me and my carpet and the opening sex scene in Predator 2.
No wonder you're single.
I can't do this. I'm too intimidating.
It's just, all of this seems well beyond my physical abilities. He doesn't even have time to grab his shoes or like any appetizers. And imagine how different this film would be if it came out after 2002 and John had been wearing Crocs. He could have slipped those bad boys back on and flipped the straps to sport mode, no problem. But he doesn't have Crocs. So he hangs out on an unfinished floor of the building where there isn't even any carpet that he can fist to relax. And he's trying to decide what to do after he finishes ogling the sexy women across the street, which, hey, there's an idea. John can't get out a phone call or anything, but what if he just squeezed a few rounds off in her direction? Oh, Dave, not like that. Surely she would call the cops? She might start shooting back at him, because this is LA after all.
Come on, baby, come to Papa. Fucking California.
I don't know, but eventually the bad guys grab the boss, whom they knew everything about, his entire life history, except for what he looked like.
I could tell you how much he spent on liquor last year.
I have no idea what he looks like.
They didn't have like iPhones back then. Okay, they were working with fax machines.
I'm not saying this is exactly what happened, but these are a bunch of Europeans. They might be a little racist, and they might think all Japanese people look the same. And they got here and they're like, wait, there's like 50 of the boss running around. Hans, I thought you said you had a classical education.
What if they use their martial arts on me?
Oh no! Watch out, if any of them are blind, they're actually more powerful than you would expect at martial arts. I have a classical education.
Maybe a little too classical.
Benefits of a classical education.
They're just terrible students.
Anyway, they're like, okay, you need to give us a computer password, even though
I'm really not interested in your computer.
They're interested in the vault, which has $640 million in bearer bonds.
What kind of terrorist are you?
See, that's the thing. They aren't really. Although, even if they were terrorists, what, you think terrorists don't need money? Hacking lessons in C4 ain't cheap. Do most terrorists also work a 9-to-5 at Arby's? Probably. That's a bad example. Also, side note, but Hans says that the 640 mil are like 10 days of operating costs for Nakatomi Group's parent company, which means these guys are spending well over $23 billion a year in 1988, and that's just their expenses? That would make them like one of the top 10 biggest companies on the planet. And that's the kind of Christmas party they're throwing? One with no entertainment, and as Takagi himself says,
watered down champagne?
Come on, you cheap shits. You could get way more cocaine and boobs than that. Whatever, regardless. The boss doesn't know the computer code, and now will never know anything ever again. Though on the plus side, that includes never knowing about the Child's Play movies.
A masturbating midget?
So, John witnesses this, and it causes him to have a bit of a Smeagol Gollum break.
Why the f*** didn't you stop him, John? 'Cause then you'd be dead too, asshole.
Patience. Patience, my love.
But his self-arguing reveals a fire alarm, which he pulls, followed by several fruity little bounces in his excitement.
Very nice tight turns in the air and a nice steady position on the landing.
He's one of the flounciest cops to ever come out of New York.
Flouncy seems way better than looking at the script fruity.
Well, I already said fruity. We're going to stick to fruity. I feel good about it. I'm all about accuracy, you know?
Don't look at me like I'm some f***ing fruitcake or something.
Whoops, they call off the fire trucks.
Oh, you stupid motherfuckers. No, no!
And now the not terrorists are aware there's somebody else in the building causing problems on Christmas. John actually captures the guy sent to find him, but instead of killing him or demanding he drop his gun, resulting in a long-ass protracted struggle that ends with him falling down the stairs and the dude's neck snapping like a frail European twig. Unfortunately, the man's metric feet are as dainty as his neck.
Feet smaller than my sister.
But anyway, so instead, John desecrates the corpse. No, not like that. He fully announces his inventory situation and his Yuletide whimsy to the bad guys.
Ho.
Now, the movie wants me to believe he does this so he can eavesdrop on everybody and learn their names and stuff, but A, who gives a shit what their names are at this stage? Unless John was planning more taunting with like personalized insults like, Franco, he likes to cup and smell his farts. And B, you have one of their radios now, just listen to that? Feels like it'd make more sense to hide the body and buy yourself a little more time before they realize that you're the gruffest and most shoeless cop New York's ever shot out. I guess he does really upset Carl here, who was the brother of the guy who's dead. So that's something. Although even still, I think the smartest thing would have been to hollow out Carl's brother's body, hide inside of it, and then shoot everyone when they weren't looking. Like a Trojan East German, if you will.
That would have been a heck of a rewrite if you wrote this movie. Everybody's like, what the f***?
It's not like he is Batman and is like running it through his bat computer. Like there's nothing for him to know. The one thing I could see it being is that he wants to hear all the names to get a head count maybe. But even then it's like, it's probably better if they just don't know that you exist.
I want blood. You'll have it.
John runs to the roof to dramatically hip-wield his brand new shotgun and also attempt to radio the cops.
Terrorists have seized the Nakatomi building and are holding 30 people hostage. Who said we were terrorists?
You, alright? I learned it by watching you.
Now, this sort of becomes the weirdest element of this movie. At any given moment, John, the terrorist, and the cops are all able to communicate with each other, and yet they all use the radio indiscriminately, and any parties who shouldn't hear another party's plans just don't, for some reason.
Listen fast, this is a party line, the neighbors got itchy trigger fingers.
It's not like they're all switching channels or something, they just talk. We'll get to it more later, but for now, just know that there are Call of Duty squads with better radio control, and that the cops don't really believe John, but the head terrorist realizes John is probably trying to communicate from the roof. The cops still only agree to send their dumpiest, most Twinkie-obsessed cop.
Thought you guys just ate donuts, therefore my...
Whole new flavor of cop here. Wait until he finds out that he can put a Twinkie in the donut hole. He'll be crowned king of the cops. I'm just kidding. This cop type doesn't like things with holes through them, but we'll get to that later. This is a joke about the time he shot a child.
The best kind of joke.
Yeah.
John is shot chased off the roof, but he manages to escape by providing self-cover fire into like low-lying walls 5 feet in front of him. Well, the bullets aren't going anywhere near them, but I guess just the noise is scary.
Sometimes it's about making a ruckus.
And then he also rebuilds his morale by high-fiving boob posters. And ultimately, he repels into an air vent using only his gun strap. So he's alive, but like at what cost? I mean, his shirt is now filthy. Oh, his body lives, but his spirit, oh, it's dead. Like from all the filth. You know how embarrassing that's gonna be for his wife when he finally gets to the Christmas party?
It's a Japanese company.
No wonder she dropped your last name, nasty boy. She's like, oh, he actually has a different last name than me.
We, a Japanese company, need to ask, what the f***?
And she's like, I'm sorry, are you the CEO or the janitor? Because I can't tell. We're not very discerning. As an American.
Joe Takagi.
The janitor? The adult-ass janitor?
Dumpy cop finally rolls up, and even though John gets into a shootout resulting in the death of terrorist Dick, the cop hears nothing and tries to leave, except John's like, excuse me?
Damn it.
And the other terrorists open fire on the cop as he reverses practically all the way to San Bernardino, where I was born, by the way, fun fact.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Note, this is also the same way I invite people to my Christmas parties. I just light up their cars. Another side note, man, practical effects. Even just a simple non-explosive crash of a real car looks so much better than literally all of the later Fast and Furious movies combined.
Oh no, he died!
But anyway, now more police show up, but the main bad guy named Hans, yeah, he's not too worried about it.
All of you relax. This is a matter of inconvenient timing, that is all.
And hey, is it weird that the terrorists have been using their real names and none of them wear masks? things. I know that they'll be revealed to be brilliant, but still just seems like that's not a good idea, just in case. In fact, the cops hear Hans's real name, again, over the entirely unsecured frickin' radio, and figure out that while yes, he is affiliated with a terrorist group, they kicked him out for, I don't know, not being terroristy enough. And yet, spoiler alert, it's very important that he's treated like a terrorist if his plan is to succeed. And like, it costs you nothing for the team to refer to each other by cool nicknames like Dangerface and Chaz the Destroyer.
These guys are mostly European, judging by their clothing labels.
Typical Chaz.
Whatever. Hey, has John considered trying on the shoes of these two dudes he's killed? Maybe he didn't have time for the one he hucked out the window, but what about the other guy? Feels like that should be a priority with all these construction sites he keeps running through. Maybe he's learned, as everybody eventually does, that European feet are just daintier across the board.
Benefits of a classical education.
No European foot can compete with these monstrous American dogs. Look at them. Oh, you can't see him. It's too dark. Maybe you can see. I'll up the exposure so you can see my dogs dancing.
We should have had a second camera back there.
A dog camera. Cut to the dog cam.
Patreon exclusive foot cam.
Fucking California.
But even if their shoes don't fit, that's 2 sets of underwear and socks you could wrap around your feet. Maybe you just hollow out a foot-sized space in their back and you use them like German terrorist moccasins.
Human slippers. You keep bringing
I just think we could have made this movie way more awesome.
Keep bringing up hollowing out human bodies.
Why doesn't he even try it? Anyway, John does find C4, which is pretty rad, even if he can't, wear it on his feet.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Fun fact, in the TV version, they edited this moment to make it sound like John was reciting the entire Gettysburg Address. It's true, look it up.
Can't wait for you to say this and then somebody, like a bunch of people Googling this. Like,
No, he didn't! No, he didn't!
And it's somehow going to train Google's AI wrong, and then it's going to turn into like a real thing.
You have me at a loss.
Elsewhere, a news guy is like, oh, this is some news. I want to cover this news. So his news boss is like, all right, I'll let you cover this news, but I'm not going to be happy about it. I hate the news. Oh, also, something they won't show you on the biased news is Holly begging Hans to let the hostages filled with holiday booze and shrimp cocktail take shits.
I have a request.
Which feels a little bit like rolling the dice. Like, these guys are German and evil. There's a chance that they'd have wanted to watch.
Oh, I know.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, you gotta watch out about those Germans.
I always hold it in around Germans.
Unless you like it messy, I'd start bringing us in groups to the bathroom.
Can I watch?
But no, Hans agrees because actually there's good people on both sides of this terrorist attack, okay? Dumpy Cop, named Al, chats with John over the same radio frequency as everybody else.
Call me Roy.
But for some kind of unexplained reason, the deputy chief of police, well, he hates that.
Jesus Christ, pal.
I get that they may want to verify the identity of whoever's inside, but it's not like Al is calling the shots or anything. He's just trying to get information, but it's not like he's sending in the troops or calling in an airstrike. That's the deputy chief of police's job, and by God, he is gonna do it. First order of business, assume that the corpse that John threw on Al's car was a suicide. A+ work, chief.
They're going for the lights.
Except then the terrorists spray bullets everywhere, but that won't stop this elite squad from doing the slowest, most painfully exposed breach of all time. They're like, shit, the door is locked? The glass door is locked? There's no way in, please advise. Oh my God, we're getting shot through the glass door? How is this possible? I think they might be X-Men.
Who gives a shit about glass?
It's like you could just throw a rock through the window. It's just like, find something on the ground. So then they send in a police truck, which gets instantly rocket launched to fiery death. So John, in a desperate attempt to do literally anything other than find footwear, hucks his C4 down the elevator shaft, which explodes on the perfect level to kill a bunch of dudes. I mean, well done, no notes. Then he very performatively chokes on a Twinkie over the radio.
Oh, God. Ugh.
Like, bro, you have to press the button for them to hear you. You clearly wanted to talk about how gross the Twinkie was.
I'm not the one who just got butt-f***ed on national TV.
Okay, well, that was Dave, actually, so calm down. Also, he was paid quite handsomely. While everyone debates who was or wasn't butt-f***ed on national TV, Nakatomi's VP of cocaine, named Ellis tries to negotiate with the terrorists. A famously good idea.
Business is business. You use a gun, I use a nose.
He's then like, I can give you John McClane in exchange for an ice-cold Coca-Cola, because he doesn't know that they've changed the formula already.
Should I call you Mr. McClane?
He reveals John's name, but that doesn't really matter, considering his wife doesn't love him anymore and changed her name. And fortunately, the cokehead pretends he and John are good buddies and is like, hey, good friend, why don't you just give up the detonators that you currently have that Hans currently wants? And John's like, whoa, I think you're a real piece of shit, pal. So they kill him, and any local drug dealers hope for a Christmas bonus. Now, they act like he had no choice, but he really did. Like, it's so funny to not play along, because if the cokehead was even remotely smarter, he'd give up the connection to John's wife. John could have used this to his advantage, pretend that he gave a shit about the cokehead to mislead the terrorist, but instead he's immediately like, shoot him, I don't give a shit.
Hans, this asshole is not my friend. I just met him tonight. I don't know him.
And they do. Ellis is like, we're good friends, right? And he's like, no, I hope they kill you. Just shoot him in the head. Hollow him out.
Wear him, become him. I don't care. I don't give a
Literally, could not care.
John, how can you say that after all these years, huh?
Die already.
Hans then calls the cops and continues to play up the terrorist angle. He's like, okay, I want all these random revolutionaries all over the world released from prison, and one of them is in a Quebec liberation group. And initially I wanted to make a joke about them being arrested for being too aggressive with their pamphlet campaign, but turns out that the Front de Libération de Quebec is actually a pretty serious terrorist organization that killed like 8 people and freaking bombed the Montreal Stock Exchange.
I read about them in Time magazine.
For younger viewers, reading the actual article was something people used to do instead of just reading the social media headline. Anyway, Hans also asked to be evacuated via helicopter. Then John and Al engage in a few more emotional chats over the radio, but like, why doesn't Hans just jump in and call them pussies every 15 seconds?
Take my pee-pee, please, and treat it like a lollipop.
Again, this is an unsecured line. If I was Hans, I'd be constantly making the audible equivalent of jerk-off noises and putting the damn walkie-talkie in the toilet, you know, like whenever the hostages had to take a dump. Al's like, oh, I'm so sad because I killed a kid, and you on the other end, you know, oh, too much shrimp cocktail.
Oh, I hope any Germans aren't watching.
I shot a kid.
Whatever, now 2 of the FBI's biggest Johnsons have arrived.
No relation.
As Hans heads to check on some roof explosives completely alone while putting down his gun. Despite the fact that, you know, they don't even have the detonators at this point, what is there to check?
Hi there.
And oh, hey, look at that. He bumps right into John McClane, but it's fine because Hans can do a not at all passable American accent. Please, God, no. He sounds like a character a European improviser would do named Freedom R. Cheeseburgers.
I managed to get out of there.
Literally no one would have fallen for this. Why couldn't Rickman just do his native British accent? Does the Japanese company in the US have something against working with foreigners? It wouldn't be weird for Nakatomi to employ a British guy. John plays along though and hands Hans a pistol, which Hans immediately trains on him. But like, just shoot him. What are you waiting for? You already killed 2 hostages. Why not kill the dude trying to free everybody? I get that your longest-haired, blondest terrorist wants to be the one to kill McClane, and you apparently forgot to get him a Christmas present, and you're hoping that this will make up for it, but surely it's more important that he's dead as soon as possible since he keeps screwing things up.
No bullets. What, you think I'm stupid, Hans?
Honestly, I have no idea.
Well, nevertheless. Other terrorists show up and John's killing dudes like crazy, except Hans knows he's barefoot now, so he recommends his X-Men use their mutant powers to
shoot the glass. Who gives a shit about glass?
Me, I guess.
John still escapes because that's what he does best, but he leaves behind the detonators as well as copious amounts of foot blood, which is not good because foot blood is supposed to be in your foot, hence the name.
Benefits of a classical education.
There goes John's wiki feet score. Dramatic turn. Hey, let's have another emotional unsecured radio break for Al to admit that
I had an accident.
Oh. Well, I guess it's been a while since you've had access to a restroom, and you were eating a lot of Twinkies.
I shot a kid.
Get up.
Oh, wow. Confessions all over the place. I get why you don't work the streets anymore. Can't trust you with a gun or spicy food. Dave, what's the worst thing you've ever done in your pants or to a legal child? Actually, don't answer that. I don't want to know.
Hey, man. How could you know?
Then Al also admits that the feds are here, which... Do the feds want Hans to know that? This is an unsecured line, bro. Stop saying shit. Or say useful shit. Oh yeah, John, the feds just arrived and they have like 100 ninjas hidden in the bushes, and oh my god, I'm seeing some vampires with jetpacks, an entire squadron of them. Oh, and also there are invisible Frankenstein's monsters that are rappelling up the side. So yeah, if I were those terrorists, I'd just give up.
Oh, they have Frankensteins? We gotta get the hell out of here.
We gotta get out of here. Hans, you didn't say they have Frankensteins. I did not read this in the federal playbook.
Quick, give me the what?
Please, God.
The vault cracker hacker guy's like, okay, I've hacked through 6 of the 7 locks, but I have no plan for the 7th. But at that exact moment, the FBI cuts the power to the building, which automatically unlocks the 7th lock, opening the vault and giving them access to bearer bonds. And oh my god, some samurai armor.
It's a Japanese company.
It is over for the police. You think they're gonna be able to kill a bunch of German samurai? Hell no. Hell 9.
Please, God.
Oh, by the way, now that the news knows John's name, they head to his house, threaten to deport their nanny, and then interview the kids, which is a real dick move.
This man has no dick.
Oh, sorry, my bad. This wouldn't be a problem except Hans is watching the news and finally realizes that Holly is related to John. But maybe she should just be like, oh, we have different last names because we hate each other now and we're divorced? That apparently worked with the Japanese.
Honored to make your acquaintance.
Apparently not. John finds the roof explosives and also the angriest German, so they fight for, give or take, forever.
This is personal.
2 hours later.
Eventually, however, John hangs him to death, so suck it, Germany. Hans and the remaining bad Germans take the hostages to the roof where the FBI is sending helicopters that are, twist, heavily armed. They're intending to shoot everybody on the roof and anticipate losing
20-25% of the hostages.
Which is obviously an insanely terrible idea. But why would they even assume that every single terrorist will be within shooting range? Like, it's just not a very well-developed plan to rush up there and start blasting. I know that's the point, but it just seems so unreasonably stupid. This is one of the largest terrorist attacks in American history, outside of when, you remember when Arby's had those 5-for-5 deals? Like, that's probably the biggest terrorist attack, and then this, and then 9/11 eventually.
Yeah, that probably killed more people than all the other ones combined.
Yeah.
I can live with that.
Feels like we should get some smarter people on it and take 5 minutes to come up with a better plan than this. After all, Hans isn't even a terrorist.
I am an exceptional thief.
That's something they technically have already learned by now. I mean, he was kicked out of the terrorist group, right? I get that he could be going solo, and I've been there, Hans. I get it. You do what you have to do, but does nobody in the world know about the $640 million in the safe? Have they contacted anybody else at this massive corporation? Are they just embarrassed that they all look the same to them? I'm just saying, it's really sloppy out here. And like, wait, don't they have rocket launchers? Aren't we at all worried that they're just gonna blast you out of the air? Apparently not, because while John runs up to the roof to tell everybody to get off the roof, the FBI agents start blasting at him, revealing another flaw in their plan. They can't hit a guy standing in the open from like 50 yards away with a sniper rifle.
Swing around again. I'll bag this little bastard.
He didn't.
And also, yeah, the roof explosives explode, destroying the helicopter.
Gonna need some new FBI guys.
That's very funny.
Yeah, these are about the most flippant and unprofessional cops to ever exist. Just casually dropping quips as dozens of their own men are exploded and shot to death. Anybody want burnt bacon? I'm just kidding. Somebody should probably notify their next of kin. Fortunately, John isn't exploded because he was already planning to jump off the building and swing back inside through a window. And are all New York City cops trained to do this? I'm a non-Mr. Beast YouTuber, so I would never consider this as a viable strategy, no matter how desperate I was, but he does.
The fuck is going on?
Oh, right. Argyle still exists, and he notices an ambulance come out of the back of the bad guy truck. So without thinking or consulting anybody, he just rams the shit out of it with a company limo. I mean, I guess it's not like he could be fired twice. You don't even know what's happening. You've been in here by yourself for like 4 hours. Punch!
He's an EMT.
John finds Hans and another guy and Holly.
Hi, honey.
And he puts his gun down, but nobody shoots him. Hans has no problem at all with killing, yet he can't help but chat and crack jokes with John.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Oh, it does feel good to laugh. It's been a pretty tough Christmas Eve. Except, oh wait, John somehow got a second gun taped to his very sweaty back. Always assume an American has a second gun. Hans would know that if he wasn't so freaking European. Fun fact, there's a gun in every frame of every video I have ever made. Go look through all of them now. They are really well hidden, so you may have to rewatch my videos numerous times, but don't give up. Anyway, John rips all his back hair off to shoot Hans and the other guy, and Hans falls out the window, but is still holding onto Holly by her Chekhov's Rolex. That was mentioned at the beginning of this movie, but not by me. John removes it, and Hans dies. Hard.
Oh, I hope that's not a hostage.
Dude, just for a moment, take the situation seriously. There are going to be insane lawsuits after this. Another fun fact, the reason why Alan Rickman has this very genuine look of shock on his face is because right before the technicians dropped him, the director told him that Santa Claus wasn't real. It's true, look it up. He's like, what? John and Holly come downstairs amidst a storm of floating and burning bearer bonds, and that means the company's still out $640 million, right? Will the federal government and their plan to explode and kill everything be on the hook? Or more realistically, are they gonna have to fire Holly? Well, at least John gets to hug Al, who really did almost literally nothing for John, except emotionally. And it's not even like you could buy hot dogs with emotions, so they are useless. All he ever did was yell at the deputy chief, but he didn't convince him to change his mind even once, right? But oh look, the blonde German didn't fully die and he pops out of a body bag to shoot John, but Al plugs him, completing his emotional arc. It looks like somebody's ready to head back to the streets to shoot 13-year-olds again. That's the final step of Campbell's hero journey. I began sad that I shot 13-year-olds and didn't want to do my job. But then I shot a big burly German and I'm like, I think I can shoot 13-year-olds again.
Merry Christmas, Argyle.
The also definitely out of a job Argyle pops out from the garage and drives them home. After Holly physically assaults the reporter. Merry Christmas!
And I brought some corn for
As I was saying, you know you used to be able to walk right through a metal detector with nothing but a hot cup of coffee. Nowadays, you might as well be naked. I said, I'd rather get felt up than engage in the peep show.
Okay.
I don't think he's hearing any of this. I don't think is... Yeah, this is... They... Which color...
Okay, screw this guy. I'm just gonna keep going.
Yeah, I don't think he can hear you.
Oh, title slam! Looks like this time we're getting an honest-to-God Merry Christmas with real snow instead of, what Ellis was snorting last movie. Elf movies.
Business is business.
Unfortunately, a shoe-wearing John's getting his mother-in-law's car towed because he borrowed it to pick up his wife, who's flying into Washington, D.C. from Los Angeles, where John is officially a part of the LAPD, by the way. Unfortunately, this means he was either part of the beating of Rodney King, or he silently supports it because he never speaks out against it in any movie. Ugh, such a fall from grace.
Cut me some slack.
No way. Not this time.
Son of a bitch.
Elsewhere, a dude does intense-ass, naked-ass karate while watching TV in a hotel room. And like doing anything naked in a hotel room, it sounds great initially, until you remember that you probably weren't the first person to have that idea. You think he's the first guy to do naked hotel karate? Doubt it. That said, he seems talented, but we can't tell what belt level he is because he's naked.
He's ascended beyond belt. Oh my god.
Check out the guy's remote form.
One chance, people. Give me your best shot. All right, that was pretty good.
Must have been a black belt at being single. The news mentions that a deposed dictator is being extradited to Washington Airport right now. But honestly, he doesn't seem too sad about it. Probably because he's the 90s version of Dave.
The man who has come to symbolize the enemy in America's fight against cocaine.
Sorry.
Yeah, but the 90s version of me did have a bowl cut.
Naked man reluctantly throws on some clothes to cover that hog that I definitely caught a glimpse of in the mirror. And then he and his 25 closest clothed friends hop on some elevators because when you're a single dude, you have more friends than you can shake a naked hotel hog at. And you do everything together, like Die Hard, or Die Hard 2. I'm married now, so support my Patreon so I can hire more people to ride elevators with me. Oh, also, this lady on Holly McClane's plane has a taser she once tested on her dog.
Isn't technology wonderful?
Because she's a psychopath, and I assume the main villain of this movie.
Tried it on my little dog.
He died.
Not to mention, only a villain would have the kind of connections necessary to sneak a damn taser through security. I see through you better than the x-ray machine did, you old crone. Is your Dalmatian fur coat in your check-in bag or on carry-on? Oh, also, the sensationalist reporter from the first movie is here, although he's got a restraining order against Holly, which is crazy because Holly's a girl. What could a girl do to a boy? This movie is already stretching credulity. Simultaneously, a couple construction dudes show up at a closed church, and they're destined to get a terrible review on Yelp. On time, but killed me with a gun. 2 stars.
This is Buckwheat.
Oh, okay. Killed me with a gun, was named Buckwheat. 2.5 stars. Have you ever had a repair guy come and kill you with a gun?
Tried to once, but...
Couldn't even finish the job. 1 star.
Too weak to defeat me in single combat.
And my toilet overflowed.
Has that ever happened to you?
John's a little early, and it's not like he even has a car at this point, so he relaxes in the airport just slurping down a ciggy because...
Honey, it's the 90s, remember?
Slurp, slurp. Magical times. And while John slurps, he notices some dudes who he thinks are suspicious, but I actually think are probably just bachelors. I don't sneakily hand my friends Christmas presents in the airport currently, but that's because I'm married with 3 kids. Before I was married, I was always sneaking gifts to my 25 closest friends in the airport. Single men can never risk doing anything out in the open because it might get confused for emotions. John tries to tell the airport cops what he saw.
So what?
But they're mean, and not to be redundant, but they're also very Italian. So John follows 2 of them into the baggage sorting area where he catches them messing with shit and then shooting shit. Specifically, John shit. So John straight up murders one of them in a machine and question, did airports always have a luggage flattener machine? Is that standard? What happened to just bashing traveler luggage with baseball bats? More and more union jobs are disappearing from America. Sad. The other guy escapes, but I'm actually mostly worried about all this luggage that has been shot, smashed, and probably knocked onto the wrong conveyor belts. Imagine learning that all your underwear has been rerouted to Cleveland and is also full of bullet holes and or the blood of a terrorist. It's Christmas. How many presents were killed?
You think you're funny.
Sometimes. I don't know. I try. Shut up.
You think you're funny. Fine.
The bad construction workers dig in the church backyard, and the guy who wasn't killed by John McClane reports the other guy.
Where's Cochran? He didn't make it. Aw, man.
But the naked man, who we now know is a colonel, is like, no biggie.
The damage is minimal.
I can see why these guys are so loyal to him and willing to betray their country on his orders. Spoiler alert. I mean, if literally anybody in the nearby area was competent, it'd throw a massive wrench into his plans, since we're literally in Washington, D.C. But fortunately, the lead airport cop is mean and also stupid and again, pretty Italian. It's a tradition that airport cops still try to live up to today.
What sets off the metal detector first, the lead in your ass or the shit in your brains?
Must be some sort of leprechaun riddle.
Oh boy, we've really cranked up the one-liners in this movie. Nobody in this movie could just say something. Every character's greeting to each other is like, as I say to my proctologist, eat my shit and then give me the news, slick. This is an exhausting way to talk to people. Every piece of information takes twice as long to convey as it would in a less toxic work environment.
You are in my little pond now, and I am the big fish that runs it.
That's a metaphor.
Anyway, John gets some makeshift fingerprints from the dead guy because when you're a cop, they just let you do whatever you want to corpses. He then faxes the prints to his old buddy, kid shooter Al.
Yeah, the old
filthy child murderer.
Al appears to still pound Twinkies and still sit behind a desk, but do we think that's because he shot another unarmed child? Oh well, at least he tried to get back out there. Shame, because if he got a third kid punched out on his card, he could have turned it in for a free Twinkie.
Ouch.
Al runs the prints and discovers, whoopsie!
According to the Department of Defense, he's been dead for 2 years.
Meaning that this time, John McClane, is up against vampires? Or zombies? Oh, shit.
Needed a computer to figure that one out.
He was also some kind of military guy suggesting that these dudes are legit. I mean, not more legit than this beat cop who's inexplicably invincible except for his feet, but like still pretty legit. The weather turns extra Christmas, so the control tower demands all the incoming planes chill out a bit while they slow down the landing process and ensure everybody lands safely as visibility is now extremely poor. Oh,
I'd like to lock every damn reporter out of the airport.
I'm gonna do it!
But then they'd pull that freedom of speech crap on us and the ACLU would be all over us.
But John busts in and cop cucks him and is like, look, here's evidence that the dude I killed was legit. I think this may be somehow connected to the deposed despot coming here. And they're like, that's crazy. Oh,
every damn system's dead.
Everything's down and being controlled remotely by terrorists who, instead of getting Jesus a gift card for his birthday, just built a whole damn control room in the church? Shit. The colonel calls and is like, gotcha, bitch.
Damn it, you can't do this. I am doing this.
You better let the dictator general guy land and then get us all a new airplane so we can fly out of here to, I don't know, somewhere else. And they're like, damn it. But also, John,
you got no business being here.
This is airport cop business, not no port cop business. Slick. John leaves, but then he escapes via the top of the elevator because, haha!
It's okay, I've done this before.
Also, yes, John still talks to himself.
How can the same shit happen to the same guy twice?
Welcome to our
Depends on the gross receipts, John. First movie made like 5 times its budget, so I'm gonna guess this is gonna keep happening to you until you, I don't know, come up with a secret son or something to take over the franchise? At least that's what we're gonna try. There's a film era coming up in about 20 years where franchises tried and failed to pass legacy action torches to their kids or their like young friends. I'm talking Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull with Shia LaBeouf, Dark Knight Rises with Robin, also kind of Saw 3D, and maybe Child's Play kind of. I have this like orphan boyfriend named Robin. Maybe he'll take over. It's like, will he?
I'm surprised you don't have a young boy assistant in your studio yet.
I'm Marvin.
I like that name.
But I'm getting ahead of myself. John runs into the airport's resident tunnel-dwelling mole man. Every airport has one. They live off of half-eaten bags of Chick-fil-A, duty-free Toblerones, and those tiny little bottles of booze. Anyway, John overheard one of the air traffic controller guys say they could maybe establish a new radio link at some new relay built in an unfinished part of the airport that would allow them to communicate with the planes overhead to let them know that terrorists are attacking, and they should maybe go to a different airport with fewer terrorists? Anyway, John decides to go there and help out even though nobody wants him to do that. Fortunately, Marvin the Mole Man is like, oh, no problem. There's an air vent that goes right there. What are the odds of this happening twice, am I right? Man, movies are so much easier to write when you can just Control-V your previous set pieces.
And bingo.
Anyway, the controller guy arrives in the unfinished part of the airport with a SWAT contingency who look like, I mean, I don't even know that I should say it. I don't want to be mean.
What do I look like to you? A sitting duck.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Turns out the terrorists anticipated this and they ambushed the SWAT team like some kind of, I don't know, stand-in chickens, killing all of them.
Pew, pew.
Look at all those chickens.
But before the T-1000 can kill the controller, he's saved by John and his expert D-20 rolling on the floor in the middle of the open lobby and never getting shot skills. There's not a lot of situations where that particular skill is useful, but this actually happens to be one of them.
I'm gonna kick you f***ing ass.
I doubt it. John's already on the floor, which is actually where he's strongest.
That's not a superpower.
Yeah, it is.
All right, well, now that they're all dead, I guess let's go set up the relay. Ah, dang. At least they found a bad guy walkie-talkie.
No, this scramble mode must activate on this control panel. Even if we scan that frequency, we can't listen in.
Aw, dang, that's different. Way to stretch those creative muscles. But that won't stop John from randomly making himself known to the terrorists and offering to let them do sex upon his body.
Blow me.
Hey, you never know. Don't ask, don't get. But this offends the still-clothed colonel, so he tricks one of the circling planes into landing, but like way too hard. And John tries to stop this by like waving a couple of fire sticks, but dang. Triple dang even. But it's okay because the government's sending an anti-terrorist team now, so hopefully they'll kill all the bad guys and also catch any planes attempting to land with their big, strong, beefy army arms. Can't use Marines because they'd just crush the planes in their manly grips, while Air Force would try and make out with the planes. So the Army, it's like the only logical choice. Fortunately, they won't need to catch the planes because the air traffic controller has another idea to use the beep-boop radio they use to let planes know when they're officially on the outer marker while circling the airport waiting to land and convert it from beeps to an actual voice.
How? You figure it out.
Man, the 90s really were an era of non-stop technological innovation. So he uses that to warn the planes of the situation.
What the f***?
Yeah, I know, it's crazy. Turns out the skeezy reporter has been Control-V'd into this and brought a radio thing on board the plane because, again, no rules.
I hid this uncomfortable hunk of metal up my ass.
Because of this, he also learns this information. Hopefully, he'll use the knowledge wisely.
The likelihood of a full-scale and deadly battle is dangerously close.
Quadruple dang. Better take him out with a supervillain taser. I mean, good call, but Holly is still 100% going to prison for this. Then John's gonna have to dress up as a woman to get her out. That was the original draft for Die Hard 3. It's true. But it's all too late and people panic like crazy. They're just smashing everything. Doesn't really have much bearing on the plot or the movie at large, but, you know, it happens at some point. John, for his part, limps back to his main magic mole man for more map advice since he's again been kicked out of the important conversations. Fortunately for him, Mole Man found a walkie-talkie with the code still punched in, so hooray, now he can listen in on stuff. Again.
How can the same happen to the same guy twice?
Honestly, I have no idea.
This movie is 50% John's superpower luck and Magic Mole Man. Without them, there'd be no movie.
I'll find it. You'll mess up my whole damn filing system.
All John really hears, however, is that the dictator general has broken free of his restraints, killed everybody on board, which literally turned out to be 3 guys, 1 guard and 2 pilots. Feels like he could have sprung for like 1 extra guard to bring in Mr. Cocaine. But because of this, he's now forced to crash land the plane himself, even though literally why? The entire plan was to take over all airport communications so they could fly this plane in, isolate it, and grab the general. Everything was working perfectly until he decided to preemptively murder everybody on board for no reason, so he has to fly it himself? Is he on cocaine right now? Granted, he can apparently fly the plane, but he needs to make an emergency landing since the plane now has a bunch of holes in it for some reason. How did that happen? Anyway, John heads out there to, I don't know, punch the plane in the face as it lands like a Marine would. That's almost literally what happens because John pops out of a mid-runway sewer tunnel grate. You know how planes are always shitting right on the tarmac? He only barely manages to roll out of the way, but like just go back in your hold and wait for it to pass over you. Why put yourself in that kind of risk, John? Whack-a-moles have better survival instincts than you. But although then again, he is very good at rolling. Nobody can touch him when he's rolling. One day John will be the best at Dark Souls. Whatever.
Freedom.
John runs up there and punches the general and offers to trade his ass for his wife's ass, which isn't really a fair trade because damn, that general definitely does squats. Oh, maybe he's the one who taught the colonel naked karate. Oh no, John's attacked! The general is like, wow.
2 months of planning and you can't anticipate 1 bendejo?
Which is fair, but also, you're the bendejo screwing up the plan, General. If the plane had landed normally, the team would have been waiting for you instead of scrambling to secure an emergency runway to crash on. Giving John enough time to come punch you in the face like Mark Wahlberg says he would have done if he had been flying on 1224. But whatever, the general gets away, and in the chaos, John's locked in the cockpit, into which the terrorists huck literally 9 grenades. The colonel's like, how many grenades we got? 9? Great, let's throw every single grenade we have in case he's part cat. I assume this is the final level, and there's no need to save them for a future encounter. Now, you'd think that would kill John, but actually he has 37 seconds of runtime from the time the first grenade hits to hop in the pilot's seat and eject from the plane as it explodes like an Arby's toilet.
You lucky fuck.
Now, obviously, a cargo plane wouldn't have an ejection seat for the pilot, but also, how else would he survive, you idiot? Turn the emergency slide into a sled and toboggan away from the explosion? Actually, that's kind of sick. I wish he'd done that. I know that's basically what killed Casper, but I bet John could survive. Remember, Casper was having so much fun on his toboggan, he got the flu and died. He's like, I was just riding, and then I died. It's like, Casper, you gotta pay a little attention to your body. My foot fell off back there, but I'm having so much fun.
No wonder he hasn't moved on yet.
I can't move on, I gotta keep sledding. It's like, Casper, it killed you. You can't keep sledding. He's like, I gotta.
My dad said that's enough, but I couldn't stop. I was having so much fun.
The terrorists declined to shoot John out of the air because, oh shit.
Fire trucks, sir.
Fire trucks? Fire trucks are driven by swole firemen who probably have axes. Quick, grab your guns and run.
Fall back to the church.
What do you think is in those fire trucks? You are soldiers with guns. What do they hose us down? It's so cold.
And I got sick.
Oh shit, get the out of here.
So thankfully, John gets to land both his body and this sick joke.
Where's the fucking door?
You check your butt.
The parachutes don't have doors, you goofball. I am dying harder from laughter. Side note, I have zero idea what this digital clock readout is timing, but at least 50 hours have passed since I noticed it. I'm pretty sure the entire movie is supposed to take place over like 3 hours. Maybe it's set to Pacific time? Or maybe that's just how long flights felt before Wi-Fi? John wanders back inside where everybody's mad at him again, which, fair.
We don't need a loose cannon on this.
But then the air traffic guy's like, ooh, I bet I know where the terrorists are holed up. And instead of telling my boss or the cops, I'm going to tell you, strange, useless man. So he and John head to the church alone to fight this one random guard for like 5 minutes. And it's pretty crazy how anytime John runs into 12 terrorists, he murders them all in seconds while rolling on the floor. But if he ever encounters just one, he barely escapes with his balls intact. But thankfully, he channels his inner Sub-Zero and stabs the guy in the eye with an icicle. Merry Christmas! Absolutely bizarre that this was a time they decided to stop making stupid jokes. This scene was just begging for an ice to see you joke. Come on. But then army dudes show up to assault the church, but the bad guys escape on some sick snowmobile snowmobiles that I'm guessing count as their Christmas and birthday gifts. But John says what I always say to Dave when I stumble upon him practicing his bachelor black belt skills on a couple dudes he met at a bar.
They're pulling out at the back.
John kills 2 snowmobilers, then hops on one himself and serves epic chase, which here means he mostly just vaults over a truck and explodes. But still, pretty cool. He's like, I got him. Nope.
Had the bastard in my sights, I know I did.
The army dudes aren't worried about any of this, though, so they head into the church to see, whoa, the dang terrorists planted C4 explosives everywhere.
Looks like C4 and the motherfucker's armed.
But actually, they're not worried about this either, and just kind of slowly walk out of the church like, geez, can you imagine if those exploded? My goodness. John runs back to the airport and murders the annoying airport cop, like, finally.
I get it.
But to be clear, I'm not cheering the murder of a cop. I'm cheering the murder of an Italian.
Mamma mia.
Oh, no. Actually, John figured out that the terrorists were alternating between firing blanks like Dave to firing live rounds like me. Support my Patreon because shooting live rounds is apparently how I got 3 kids.
These are the bullets they used out there. Blanks.
John has taken this to mean that the army dudes are in cahoots with these terrorists, and they were all just making a show of blasting each other. The man blasting was pretend. Dave is furious. The main army guy slitting the guy's throat also seems to confirm this, although that could also be a separate thing. Like maybe that dude slept with his sister or something. You don't know.
Really, sir? Sure.
Now, I appreciate John's flair for the dramatic, but surely every other cop in the building would have killed him before he could finish making his point about the blanks. Pre 9/11, I guess. They used to let you pop off 20 to 30 rounds in airports before asking you to please stop, and then you would get to punch them in their sweet mouths for violating your Second and First Amendment rights. Gunfire used to technically be a form of free speech, but thanks, Obama. But this dramatic display finally convinces airport cop of what time it is.
It's time to kick ass.
Best day of the week. Which, I know it's a movie, but I would hope the realization that terrorists are working with army officials to free a dictator and don't care how many people they murder to do it, and indeed they've already killed an entire plane's worth of people, would make me at least slightly more sober and serious. And woohoo! Let's really place our foots on their butts hard.
Exemplary. Rock and roll.
My whole family is dead.
Maybe just a little more decorum than a stone cold Steve Austin promo. He's like, it's ass kicking time. And it's like, well, it's actually a deep day of national mourning because there's so many dead. But yeah, they'd better hurry though, because actually the terrorists already had a plane fueled and ready to go. And now it's extra fueled and extra ready to go. And they're all like, man, this is so great for us. What a
victory for our way of life.
Your way of life? You mean cocaine? That was the 80s. This is the 90s. Welcome to the future. The colonel offhand calls a reporter a pinko at some point, but my man, America's already not communist. Just look at how many people in the US die from medical debt. Also, again, this is the 90s, so it's extra not communist. Basically, my point is, the only thing he could be referring to is cocaine. And like Dave always says, and sometimes right with his nose blood, cocaine is life.
And a kick-ass vacation. Now get on board.
Whatever. John convinces some other less skeezy reporter to fly him over top of the escaping plane on a helicopter so he can leap onto the wing and stuff his shirt into one of the wing parts. I want to say it's the areolas. That sounds right.
Ew de puta.
The traitor army guy comes out to fight him, but John knocks him into the engine and the entire plane explodes.
Not this time.
Oh, no, it doesn't? So Sully had to crash land into the Hudson because he hit a couple of geese, but we throw an entire man in the engine and there's no issue? Did the feathers really make that much of a difference? Okay, well, I guess now it's
time for the main event.
The colonel kicks John off the plane, but I feel like he should be terrible at karate while clothed. Like, wouldn't that be like running with a weighted vest? It's good for training, but you wouldn't want to still be wearing one during the main event. I don't know, but John manages to pull the dump all fuel with no warnings or indicators in the cockpit lever. It's a bad lever. I don't know why they used to have that on planes. And then he lights the fuel trail, which catches up to the plane, and they die. Hard. Too.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Wait, is that just a thing he says now? In the first movie, he was mocking a foreigner who called him an American cowboy or whatever, but here, he just says it to himself while exploding mostly anti-communist but pro-cocaine Americans? What a freaking dork.
Every morning in the mirror, he's like, yippee-ki-yay. Yippee-ki-yay.
Yippee-ki-yay. I hit it too hard. Thankfully, the fireball and the fire trail allow Holly's plane to safely land in the terrible conditions, way more American than following a pinko reindeer's red nose, even as they run out of fuel. And actually, every plane in the area is going to land, but communication still seems extremely spotty, and how many planes can land on a single runway in the snow without taxiing out of the way? Are we about to see hundreds or thousands of fiery civilian deaths? Dave wants to know whether he needs to crack open the salad dressing, basically.
God, that's beautiful.
Maybe later.
Why does this keep happening to us?
What do you even mean, Holly? You don't even really know what happened, other than there were maybe some terrorists, you attacked the same news guy again, and your plane landed awkwardly. And yes, your husband is covered in blood, but I have to assume by this point that's just how he comes home every night, whether he went to work or not. Whatever, movie over, slow zoom out, and dang credits. I was really hoping we'd zoom out far enough to realize all this was happening inside a snow globe or something. It's like the whole thing is a Hallmark commercial. Yeah. I mean, after all,
it's Christmas!
Thought I saw a 13-year-old.
Well, that's embarrassing. So my understanding is that die hard historically means a thing is difficult to get rid of, i.e. old habits.
Die hard.
Hey, that's the name of the show.
So I'm not entirely sure what it would mean to say old drinking habits die hard with a vengeance, because that usually implies something is coming back worse than ever, i.e. my alcoholism has returned with a vengeance. So to die hard with a vengeance suggests what? That a thing refuses to go away even worse than usual? Did the number 3 hold out for too much title money? Seems confusing. But if we dig into the original Latin, no time wasted, baby. I actually do love how quickly Die Hard films get into the action. In the first film, Hans's truck was shown within the first 15 minutes. In DH2, we saw naked hotel karate within the first 10 minutes. And now we open with an explosion within the first minute. The fourth Die Hard should logically destroy the entire Earth before the movie even begins. That's just math.
Hard math.
But anyway, a presumably evil German, redundant again, sorry, calls a local police station and is like, I want to talk to John McClane. And also, I'd like to invite him over for a quiet game of Parcheesi.
They want to play a game.
He wants us to cut through our feet.
The police captain, or whatever, is like, that's going to be difficult because John's on suspension during non-Christmas terror attacks. And also, he's not really a board games guy. But the guy on the phone is like, my name is Simon, and Simon says, if you don't do that, I'm going to blow up more shit.
Simon's going to tell Lieutenant McClane what to do, and Lieutenant McClane is going to do it.
Using my sexuality.
Man, lucky break for him that his name is actually Simon. Imagine if he had to say Albert says. It wouldn't make any sense. Guy would sound like a total idiot. So whatever. Poof, they grab hungover John and strip him down to his undies, which is crazy because, like, what are these guys, his wife?
You know, you're the first woman since Holly to see me do this. I'm on it.
Sounds like the McClanes go hard in the bedroom. Maybe that's why Holly suspended their marriage, too? Cummed hard with a vengeance or something? I'm still not sure what that means.
Did I download the right movie? My brother once did that, like when the movie 300 came out. He like downloaded it off the Pirate Bay, but it was like a porn parody of 300, like, but they shot it in like the 80s or something, and then like he saw this.
I think your brother was just watching porn. It was like, oh, I downloaded, it's a 300 parody. Oh, by the way, world building alert. Apparently every single one of these cops plays the lottery religiously.
Hey, what was the lottery number last night?
4, 6, 5, 7, 5.
Okay, enough of that. They plop John's ass on the sidewalk sporting a sign that suggests
he's a gamer.
Then the cops speed away. What's crazy is Dave actually does this every Tuesday, but he's never mentioned anything about being forced by a terrorist. To be fair, I used to do this, but my sign was about Italians, and I was only in Dave's front yard. He owed me $20. I think it was justified. Anyway, across the street, a couple of kids try to sell a stolen radio to a guy who is like, stop trying to sell me stolen shit. Stay in school, don't do drugs, and most importantly, beware white people.
And who do we not want to help us? White people. That's right.
All valuable lessons that I also share with my kids. These kids and my kids are always like, yeah, I got it. Avoid Dave at all costs. And then the store owner notices John and is like, hey man, I think this might be unwise, wearing that sign. What the fuck? John explains the situation and the guy instantly believes him and recommends he act insane because as Dave's always explaining to me, racism is okay if you look like you have a headache.
I really do have a headache, a really bad headache.
Doesn't work though. And they're both attacked, forcing the store owner to grab the gun that's duct taped to John's back. That's sort of his whole thing now. He never uses holsters anymore. Won't even use car seats or seat belts. He blows half his paycheck on duct tape. It's what ruined his marriage to Holly, spoiler alert. But yeah, they calm commandeer a vehicle to escape, and the store owner reveals that he's the son of Cronus and Rhea?
My name is Zeus.
Now, good on John for escaping, but would the terrorist forcing him to do this accept the outcome? Like, was the deal, stand on the corner of this sign until a good Samaritan saves you with a gun that you'd secretly tape to your back? After all,
this guy's gonna pound on you until you come. I was gonna say kill you.
Whoa, honeymoon flashbacks. A bomb expert walks in then and is like, okay, so check it out. This terrorist guy is really good at bombs. See? This nut makes really good bombs.
Like I said, very cool stuff.
I believe you. I didn't need you to explode a chair. I guess that he was good at bombs when the entire department store was leveled an hour ago, but yeah, this is a really helpful visual explainer. When you go to bomb college, they make you pick your track. You're either a diffuser or an exploder. And some people, you pick one track or the other and you just regret it. And you're like, I wish I could have double majored.
It's like the Italian bomb expert in Disney's Atlantis, like bomb icon.
We all wanted to be that guy at bomb college.
Yeah, like growing up, I was like, how do I get into that career?
Yeah, how do I go blow up ancient civilizations that have been lost to time? It's pretty specialized, but somebody's got to do it. Simon calls again and is like,
where are my pigeons now? Pigeons?
Pigeon? What pigeon?
I had 2 pigeons, bright and gay.
Okay, he's one of those riddle-themed bad guys. Like the Batman villain. Clue Master?
No.
Anyway, he's intrigued by Zeus and wants to chat with him, but Zeus is the only person in the world who might be able to match John's rampant assholism.
Well, you can stick your well-laid plan up your well-laid ass.
And refusal to let go of a receding hairline.
Hardly.
Couple of bald, angry men yelling.
Why are you trying to kill me?
If I was a terrorist, I would be so sad right now. I'd probably just blow myself up from the embarrassment.
McLean is a toilet bug.
Exactly. Those would be my final words. Simon says suddenly no longer on suspension, John and Zeus need to head to another payphone near a subway station, but Zeus is all,
that's a white man with white problems.
Diarrhea?
I don't remember him mentioning anything about not being able to handle authentic Indian curry, but also Simon's exploding bombs in the middle of a city with at least 3 different ethnicities, white, black, Italian.
This guy doesn't care about skin color.
Doesn't even care about boobs.
Yeah, Zeus, you could really learn something about tolerance from the mad bomber and the cop who smells like a taxi's ashtray. So they got a lot to say about race in this movie, and they handle it very delicately, very subtly, very nuanced.
1 white cop gets killed today. Tomorrow we have 1,000 white cops, all with itchy trigger fingers. Got it?
That's a metaphor.
So Zeus is like, fine, I'll come with you, but only if we can mock a fat woman. And the police are like, deal! We were planning on doing that anyway, sucker! It's nice to know that no matter the color of your skin, people can always come together and find common ground in mocking overweight people. This is exactly what Dr. King envisioned.
How big a problem? Oh, about 300 pounds. I could get used to this.
So anyway, they kicked the whale off the phone.
There was a fat woman on it, and it took you a minute to get her off.
And Simon is like, my name is Simon, and I'm here to say I'm gonna explode this city in a chill-ass way.
Nice. Rhymes.
Like they do, like they did.
Then Simon's like, here's a riddle. And Zeus solves it, but Simon's like, nice, except there's a bomb in the trash can.
Welcome to New York.
I'm just kidding.
I didn't say Simon says.
But also Simon does say go to another subway payphone that's nowhere near here in a very short amount of time.
90 blocks in 30 minutes?
For everyone outside the US, in metric terms, that's about the length of an average European country and the time it takes an Italian barista to make a thimble of espresso. No problem. John slams a stolen crazy taxi through Central Park, causing almost as many injuries and deaths and collateral damage as an actual bomb would. And the entire time, Zeus is like, wow, look out! Jeepers, this was reckless! But the dude at no point considers fastening his seatbelt? Dude is committed to not safety. In solidarity, John calls in a fake emergency so he can drive behind an ambulance for a bit and cause even more property damage. I do the same thing on Black Friday when I tell Dave there's a dead pigeon in the back of the store, and then I just run behind him, jumping over the corpses he leaves in his wake. Eventually, John's like, okay, let's split up. I'll try to find the bomb that we've been told is on a train, and you can go to the actual payphone we've been told to go to. That way,
you fail, I cover your ass. I fail, you cover
my ass.
Except Simon seems to be a stickler for the rules, so if Zeus is the only one at the phone and can't do a divorced white guy voice to pretend that he's you, that won't cover shit, except probably the walls of the tunnel with the blood and viscera of the innocent exploded by the subway bomb. Or maybe not, who knows, let's see. Life's an adventure. Let's just roll the damn dice.
We're both
Great.
yeah.
While John looks for bombs and restraining orders under every skirt on the train, Zeus accidentally picks up one of those guys who comments on all my YouTube videos.
What? You don't like white people?
Because apparently he doesn't notice the taxi he just stepped into is all beat to shit from slamming into every tree and pizza rat in Central Park, and the driver is bleeding profusely from his arm. It doesn't seem like a safe cab, bub. Did all New York taxis look like this in the 90s? I vaguely remembered that they used to call blood taxi sauce. Regardless, Zeus makes it to the payphone, barely.
Get away from the damn phone. Put your hands up.
But he's almost shot by a nervous cop. Does he also like Twinkies? Because, man, do I have another cop that I think he'd have a lot in common with. All the cops in these movies are either unbelievable superheroes or just blasting kids on the street.
Not too different than real life.
I have to answer that phone.
I'm thirsty.
Anyway, it doesn't matter because John's not there, and Simon's like, them's the rules.
The rules applied to both of you. I'm afraid this is not compliant.
But fortunately, John did find the bomb, and he hucks it out the back of the train at the last second. It still causes an unbelievable amount of damage, but apparently nobody died because now John's superhero luck works as an effective area buff. John thinks this is pretty silly. Side note again, the explosion and crash is cool as shit. Fun fact about this scene, Die Hard 3 actually blew up a New York City subway station, but the effect was so cool, the city decided not to press charges. Man, why doesn't this guy direct more stuff? Oh. John believes the bomb was going to go off no matter whether they answered the phone or not, but the FBI show up and are like, hey, quick question.
The name Gruber mean anything to you, Lieutenant?
And John's like, you mean the Peacock original series? And they're like, no, idiot, that's MacGruber. We mean the guy you made Die Hard at the end of the first movie. And he's like, oh my God, I totally forgot. You shouldn't have asked me so coyly. And the FBI's like, yeah, well, the guy making your life hell is...
He's Hans Gruber's brother.
And his name is John Gruber!
Speak of the German devil, Typha, if you will, Simon Peter, who, fun fact, once rejected Jesus 3 times before blowing up the Garden of Gethsemane, he calls the cops and is like, hey, I'm gonna crank the difficulty up to Dark Souls levels and blow up a bomb in a school at 3 p.m. I'm not gonna tell you which school, and you're not allowed to evacuate, and you're not allowed to use police radios, and just for fun, everybody has to switch to their non-dominant hand. Also, John and Zeus need to go to some other payphone somewhere convenient to the plot. And you know what? If this thing turns out to be some viral promo campaign for AT&T, I will not be surprised at this point. They're like, you could defeat terrorists way easier if you just use a cell phone. But anyway, hopefully somebody figures out the code to the bomb at some point. Good luck, have fun, I love you, feed Jesus sheep.
Simon, wait.
So the majority of the cops go school to school looking for bombs, which wasn't nearly as easy as when Dave was in middle school. Well, we know where the bomb is. So wherever the hell Dave is at school. And then John and Zeus head off on foot.
They bought it.
Oh, shit. There's Simon himself being all nefarious and schemy and Jeremy Ironsy and not unlike a rock upon which one might build a church. What are you up to, you schemer? Well, apparently he's gonna sneak in a bunch of stolen dump trucks to the blast site and do an extremely weird American accent.
Holy Toledo!
I guess that also runs in the family?
Not opinion makers.
That's what the Grubers are about. Okay? It's on our crest. They murder the cops left behind in the tunnel and then enter the Federal Reserve Bank nearby and knock everybody out because twist, once again, they're more thieves than terrorists. What? But there seems to be some language barrier issues with this team.
Speak English! Otto doesn't speak English, do you, Otto?
Sort of like how every time I ask Dave if I'm in focus, he's like,
I'm gonna marry Donald Trump.
I'm gonna do it!
There's a disconnect somewhere, I think. Similarly, do we think the director wanted when the Saints go marching in playing during this entire scene? It feels like it's really undercutting what could be a really cool scene, but counterpoint, it's copyright free and therefore cheap. Maybe the movie is showing, not telling us, that these are a bunch of frugal terrorists / thieves? Wow, art. Anyway, again, they're stealing a ton of gold because Simon learned from his brother's burnt to ash bearer bonds bullshit.
$140 billion.
That's a lot of nuts!
And the cops can't stop it because they're searching for school bombs and not allowed to use their radios. And also, they're all trying to use their other hand to open doors, and it is tricky.
Trying to open it with their elbow or knee.
Yeah, they can't get it. The only hope the Federal Reserve has is this guard just blasting at nothing with a shotgun, but unfortunately, he's no match for this sexy lady thief terrorist with a knife. They're like, who would be, am I right? Yummy, yummy. I hope someday someone will study the connection between Gen X/millennials wanting to die and the depiction of sexy lady murderers in movies during their formative years.
I am now killed. I have just died.
John and Zeus finally get to the phone, and Simon's like,
what has 4 legs and is always ready to travel?
And John's like, I got it! A dog that owns a private jet. Zeus is like, no, you stupid idiot.
It's an elephant joke.
Because it has a trunk. Read a popsicle stick sometime, you dumb cop. So they wander to a nearby elephant statue and find another bomb that can only be diffused with exactly 4 gallons of water on a scale, but all they have are 3 and 5 gallon jugs. The movie doesn't quite explain it, but I paused the movie to see if I could figure it out, and I did. Suck it, terrorism. You fill the 5 gallon, pour 3 gallons of it into the 3 gallon, dump that on the ground or on the nearest witch, pour the other 2 gallons into the 3 gallon, then fill the 5 gallon back up, dump 1 gallon into the 3 gallon, and boom! Osama bin Laden is defeated. Now we can focus America's energies back on reverse racism debates.
Have I impressed your people somehow? I'll tell you what your problem is. You don't like me because you're racist.
Change has come to America.
Naturally, they're given another clue that's like, hey, take a load off. Go watch some Yankees baseball. Have fun. You earned it. That's the clue. That's the riddle. But also, while you head over there, consider this clue.
What's 21 out of 42?
I don't know what that means. But John randomly stops a shoplifting kid who inadvertently reveals Simon's entire plan when he's like, ain't no places to purge out here. Steal Butterfingers, kill pigeons, be Italian. There are no rules. Woo!
It's Christmas. You could steal City Hall.
John furthermore is like, oh, shit, there aren't any schools around here. Simon intentionally got the police out of this specific area. Dang, with a vengeance. So the two of them walk back to the sinkhole and split up, with Zeus handing the now defused bomb suitcase to some cops that definitely aren't actually cops, while John heads into the Federal Reserve to chat with some security guards who definitely aren't actually security guards. It's not super clear why Simon tells his guys not to kill these two, other than the movie would immediately end and I could grab lunch and take a nap, but he doesn't, so they live. I'm not sure where it would have gone eventually, but on the elevator, John realizes one of the dudes is wearing a badge from one of the lotto-obsessed cops that he knows, so he just starts blasting. Zeus also manages to get to where John is, but entirely unaccosted. Literally just walks down there, no problem, disproving racism forever.
Oh, is this gold?
I can't hear you. Gold.
Oh, it sure is, buddy. We should steal another car and chase a bunch of those dump trucks. Here's hoping they didn't split up at all and instead all travel in one extremely conspicuous, very easy to follow line. Oh, thank God. As they pursue, John realizes, oh my, there were 42 presidents as of filming. And also, we're in an alternate universe where
Hillary Clinton, the 42nd president.
Wrong.
Ugh, not in my universe. Ew. I would literally destroy the concept of democracy before I would let that happen.
Yeah, of course.
But if that's the case, well, then who was the 21st president? I was waiting for one of you to answer because literally nobody knows. Not in this movie, not in real life. It's lost knowledge. This is why every new president should get the names of all the previous presidents tattooed on their back during their inauguration. John then steals a guy's phone and just flies this Camry or whatever off an overpass like it's the Batmobile to chase down a dump truck and be like, where are you going? And are you a terrorist? Or like maybe a thief? The guy's like, whoa, I'm just an all-American normal non-thief guy and I'm headed to
the aqueduct.
Much like other large trucks in this city. What are you? One of those anti-aqueduct pinkos? So John goes with him and sends Zeus once again by himself to the next location, even though again, Simon wants both of them. So maybe just send neither? Simon says, every time I need both of you to go. And last time you didn't send both, he blew up a train. You might as well help John McClane out.
Yeah.
Or both go to the riddle. It doesn't make sense to split up.
I don't know. If I had an Italian bomb expert, I'd know what I would do.
I would go discover Atlantis, and then I would blow it up. We need to make a bridge. That's priceless! Oh my God! It's like, look, we could have brought a hang glider guy. We didn't. We brought a bomb guy, okay? That's the tool in my toolbox. I have to use what I have.
It's like literally blowing up the pyramids to make a parking lot.
But whatever. John arrives at the aqueduct and is told a bunch of dump trucks just
tore ass up the tube.
I feel like that would raise some suspicion. Should we call somebody, or what am I saying? Just send John in there to murder the drivers of literally the first truck he encounters without checking to see who's inside. This is a construction site, dude. Also, randomly, the truck driver guy John effectively kidnapped gives up the name of the 21st president.
Chester A. Arthur.
This is what people had to do before smartphones. You just have to kidnap random Teamsters and hope they had the answer to whatever question you were trying to get answered. John still doesn't know what to do with that forbidden knowledge, but now he has it. Oh wait, that's the name of the school that the cops are literally already at. Cool. Well, case solved, I guess. Hopefully there's nothing that makes our jobs harder. Unrelatedly, Simon actually calls into a radio station to be like, hey, long-time listener, first-time caller. Oh my God, there's a bomb in an elementary school. Oh my God, everybody panic. And everybody does.
Half the goddamn city just called 911.
So much for a city of free thinkers. But actually, this doesn't really make the cop's job any more difficult, and they find the bomb super easily. It's barely an inconvenience, but just in case they never find the code or this diffuser guy can't do the literal only thing he's supposed to be able to do, they sort of prepare all the kids for a fun game of run like hell and don't look back. And oh my God, the fire, the bombs, the death. When I was in school, we used to call this Gomorrah-ing. Don't turn around or you'll turn into a pillar of salt or be exploded all over the wall of the gym. Oh my God!
Is that like gooning?
No.
Today he wants us to practice a brand new fire drill.
Sorry. That would be more sodomy. 2 cities. One's about escaping, one's about butt stuff. Which way, Western man?
Line up against the wall.
Meanwhile, Zeus arrives at Yankee Stadium and a little game thing says game over, but the sniper who's supposed to shoot him in the head is called off because John's not there. I mean, they don't want to kill only one guy. It's like, we got 1 bullet, and I was really hoping that they would kiss or something and I could shoot through both their heads, but since he's not here, I guess it's because now they're into killing John and Zeus in a much more public and presumably security camered area versus the virtually empty scene of a massive accident. But I guess it doesn't matter anyway, so they instead follow Zeus in the hopes that he leads them to John and then they can blow both their heads off together in a much more poetic and narratively satisfying way. It's like jazz, okay? It's about the murders you don't do. Speaking of Johnny, he calls Simon to gloat, as he often does, and Simon's like, would you like the $13 billion in gold that's in your truck? I'm sure it'd be super easy to launder yourself. I'm 90% sure Costco accepts gold bars, no questions asked. You know how many lotto tickets you could buy with billions in gold? You could be a millionaire. Whenever in movies they're like, why don't I give you $13 billion worth of gold? And it's like, what? To like put in my apartment?
I don't have like a Nazi bunker to put it in. Do you have Venmo?
Well, but even then it's like, hey, how do you have $13 billion in your Venmo? You're like, like, obviously he's gonna get caught. He's like, sure, I've got a Swiss bank account ready to go. It is literally gold. It's like, what are you gonna like charter a vessel?
Subscribe to my Patreon.
Yeah. So I could charter a vessel to move by 13. Honestly, we're completely fine financially. It's just, I'm not sure how to liquidate the $13 billion worth of gold I have in my studio.
The logistics of hiding my gold is the hard part.
And it's very expensive. I have 12 storage units just stacked with gold.
You keep showing up to Arby's trying to pay for it with gold.
Yeah, I got a deal for you. I'll drive this truck up your ass.
No deal.
But John, in typical fashion, is like, yeah, New York Yankees.
We blow the dam. We drown him.
Oh, shit, get the out of here! What are you doing?
And John's forced to explode out of the rapidly filling with water tunnel by riding a geyser like me, evacuating a single beef and cheddar. Anyway, John doesn't have long to recover because Zeus just happens to be there waiting for him, and they're already getting shot at. So we initiate another shooting car chase for a while, involving multiple drivers, until eventually John successfully rolls for +5 to luck. And pulls the old spinning and shooting and crashing trick that results in both of their cars flipping, but only the bad guys dying. I mean, it's a perfect maneuver, perfectly executed. They realize the bad guys all had quarters for a bridge toll because toll booths don't actually give change for gold bars. But actually, they're already on a ship.
We can jump. What?
No, we can't do that. That's crazy. What we can do is rig a zip line from this truck winch to a boat tower thing, and then when the truck is pulled off the bridge, the line will cut the only guard who notices us in half while we fall harmlessly aboard. And Zeus is like, oh, cool. Well, let's do that one then.
I mean, a lot of issues can be solved with a zipline.
Yeah, it's true. There's nothing in my life that wouldn't be easier if I could zipline.
What's waiting for me at home is really bad.
John hands Zeus a gun, but for some reason treats him like an idiot for not knowing how to use a gun.
How's it work? You don't know how to shoot a gun?
Look, all brothers don't know how to shoot guns, you racist motherfucker.
But also fails to explain how to use a gun. He's just like a guy. So when Zeus does manage to get Simon dead to rights and unhesitatingly tries to shoot him in the chest after his very first request for the code that'll save thousands of children's lives is denied, feels like he should have tried harder there. He's like, what's the code to save all the children? He's like, I'm not telling you. Bam, 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 bam. It's like, Jesus Christ. You gotta try harder than that. There's so many children hoping that he doesn't die right now. Fortunately, he doesn't know how it works, so. Because Zeus doesn't realize that the safety's on. So Simon reverse Unos him and takes the gun and shoots Zeus in the leg. And again, he doesn't give a shit about Zeus. Why not just finish it right there? Literally everyone's kill priorities have been flipped and dipped. The bad guy should have been much more quick with the murder, while Zeus here should have maybe chilled for a few minutes. Whatever. John, meanwhile, gets his ass kicked in a boss fight until suddenly he's not getting his ass kicked in a boss fight. Hooray! The bomb diffuser has failed, and nobody's found any clues, so the kids initiate Project Gomorrah and run like hell while the bomb actually just pulls a Dave and sprays all over the dude's face.
Oh yeah, Daddy!
Turns out
There's never any bomb in the school, was there? Of course not.
Again, they're thieves, not terrorists. Thieves never kill anybody, besides a load of cops and hundreds of train riders, if not for John's last-minute bomb hucking maneuver earlier. It is impressive that Simon made sure there were no children on that subway. The man truly is a tactical genius. Yeah, you gotta kill a few kids to make a golden omelet. These guys are very strict about only killing a lot of people instead of all the people. You have to have a code. Speaking of, how many construction guys were killed by the dam suddenly bursting and water rushing through that aqueduct at 1 million gallons a second? Is that how we lost the knowledge about the 21st president? Because the only trucker in the whole world that knew drowned?
Oh, and also don't forget...
Ethically, I refuse to think of the implications, because I'm a thief with honor and a code. Anyway, turns out the real bomb is on this ship, along with the gold, and...
You're gonna blow it all up? That's the idea.
Definitely. Except twist, no he's not. Oh, they're gonna keep the gold and shoot, like, the one dude who Simon didn't tell the plan to, I guess. And they escape via smaller boats, leaving John and Zeus...
the master of unlocking...
to pick and explode their handcuffs.
Oh, shit. I dropped the thing.
Oh, they also talk a little bit about how John and his wife have been separated for a year, and I don't understand. Can you literally just transfer your cop job to any random city at any time? I feel like 90% of the U.S. police force would be working the Honolulu beat if that was the case. He's like, I'm a New York cop, I'm an L.A. cop, I'm a New York cop, it's exhausting. The jet lag is killing me. He's not actually hungover, he's just like a little off and he's pretty sleepy. John's like, we were on the phone and I just happened to be in New York and it was a bad fight, so now I've lived and worked in New York for a year?
She was in LA, I was in New York, had a fight on the phone, she hung up, I never called her back. How long ago was that? About a year now.
What? He's like, we had a phone call and it was bad, so I just transferred my whole ass job to New York City. God, I don't miss my kids, I tell you what. And you know, every time my wife and I have a spat, I'm a little relieved that I get another year off from being a dad. Sorry kids, your mom and I, we had a disagreement, so I'm moving to LA forever. What was it about? It's like, honestly, I don't even remember.
I don't even remember, but...
It was heated. Daddy's gonna become a Los Angeles cop now. Phew! John McClane. What a relatable and likable protagonist. What phone night was so bad that it triumphed, I saved you from 2 hostage situations on non-consecutive Christmases? She's like, I don't feel like you're here for me. He's like, what? What do you mean? Name one other husband who's done it even one time.
So much glass in my feet.
She's like, yeah, but we don't like go to movie dates anymore. He's like, it's because I'm fighting terrorists all the time. They're thieves. Okay.
Will you stop with that racial shit?
Whoa, dude, I didn't mean because you were white. I meant because you suck ass generally. Jump to safety as the boat explodes. John finally calls Holly, and presumably he has the LAPD on another line to get his old job back if things go well. But whoops, he realizes the bottle of aspirin Simon gave him for his hangover has a name on it, and they can track Simon using that, and then they can maybe shoot him to death, hopefully. But Simon doesn't know this, so wherever he is, they're throwing a party. And again, how many dudes were in on this scheme, and why was that one other random boss level fighter not in on it? Did he also sleep with someone's sister? So seriously, how do you launder this many gold bars? I'm sure it's possible, but it seems difficult to do, especially $140 billion worth? Like, what pawn shop is like, oh yeah, I'll just go get $140 billion in the back? Like, at that point, you have to go to North Korea or something. It's like when you steal artwork, it's like, who do you sell that to?
I guess the answer is normally like Russian. Sign up to my Patreon so we can
get in contact with Putin. I got a lot of gold to offload if you remember. Anyway, whatever. The cops don't really have a plan though.
Yay, dickhead. Did I come at a bad time?
So the Germans all start escaping in every direction in huge and difficult to take down vehicles, including a friggin' helicopter. John and Zeus are also there, which is weird because John's suspended and Zeus is just a guy. Also, they're both wounded.
I think she's pissed at you, McClane.
And their helicopter is immediately shot down because, again, no plans, guys, just vibes. They're in Canada. Canadian cops are like, I'm gonna be honest, we don't really deal with things this big. Usually there's like a moose on the loose in the, in the grocery store or something. Fortunately, they survive. And John goads Simon into flying his helicopter 6 inches off the ground, which allows him to shoot a sign that makes him die. Hard. With a vengeance. Let me just reiterate that the main advantage that helicopters have over people standing on the ground is the ability to literally fly, specifically to fly out of pistol and or sign falling range. Alternatively, Simon could have just escaped, but even still, he could have flown to a safe height and then just kept blasting with his superior firearm. But nope.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
God, I bet that gets old at parties. Every time John wins a round of Parcheesi, everybody's like, here it comes. Anyway, good luck calling Holly again. So that's the movie. And at what point do we stop suspending John and passing him back and forth between LAPD and NYPD and just promote him to Secretary of Defense already? Like, what more does he have to prove? He's our greatest warrior. We don't need him fighting thieves. We need to send him to invade Russia or some shit. God, can you imagine if we sent him to Russia at some point? That'd be crazy. He has 2 medals of honor, probably.
Yeah, like as a beat guy, he probably just got like a pizza party at the office or something.
Yeah, they're like, you did great, I guess. Let him retire. Oh my God. Why does he still work? He should be doing like Nike commercials or something. I once killed 1 million terrorists without shoes, but let me tell you, if I had Nikes, there would be much less collateral damage.
It would have been a 20-minute movie.
Anyway, buy Nikes.
F him. Let him cook.
Boss takes shoes.
Bad news, Mr. Breeding. I've deleted your 401k.
I don't even have a 401k.
Alright.
Frequency mode.
Ah, friggin'.
This dude sounds like a bad mother.
Oh, logo glitch? No, I see now. It's because there's a bunch of hacking going on. And also there's a hot lady going on?
Yes, I see that. Thank you.
Sure thing, hot lady.
Wow, you have a sexy voice.
Ooh, software update to Die Hard 4.0? Now you can Die Hard online instead of being stuck LAN Die Harding. Finally, Die Hard has firmly entered the digital age, a thing the fans have been begging for since, I don't know, I guess Gears of War came out? Seems like a perfect pairing. Those Gears, they die so hard because of the war and with a vengeance. Look, I'm a dad. I don't have a lot of time to play video games. Have they made any games since Gears of War?
Because that was fun.
That was really fun.
Guess who just made 50 G's?
I don't know, Dave? Feels like every time we film one of these things, Dave's wearing tighter and more leatherier pants. That actually gives me an idea for how to deal with Dave. By uploading C4 into his computer, to be clear. The ultimate anti-hacker device. They never see it coming. Computer nerds never inspect their hardware closely, according to this movie. Spoiler alert.
What'd you do to my drive, man?
Hacker.
Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. Currently, our sexy hacker lady also briefly hacks the FBI cybersecurity division. It's like, slow down, lady. You don't have to hack everything all at once. Except actually, maybe she does, because this movie is based on an article? Are you allowed to do that? Can I submit one of the 400+ articles I wrote for Paste Magazine for basically free? I'm sure there's something in there we could turn into a Die Hard movie. Maybe my article about bro rompers or witnessing the riots in Charlottesville firsthand. Feels like 2 hours of John McClane yippee-ki-yaying tiki torch Nazis in polos would sell tickets.
We have what we need.
Anyway, the FBI is like, okay, we need to get all the black hat hackers on file that we know so we can call them and say, hey, who's doing all the hacking so much? But of course, that's a lot of people, so we need to coordinate with local law enforcement.
Cameron, I said no.
Cut to a guy trying to squeeze some boob in a car, and wow, cop tactics have really changed in the digital age. The good cop is really just going for it. You know how now the good cops will squeeze your boobie in a car?
Yeah, I know all too well.
Except, ow. No, this is just some random dude trying to Hans the Grubers off of John McClane's daughter for fun, but Lucy moves his hand away, all while having her tongue down his throat. Classic Charlie Brown football maneuver.
Get out of the car now.
John shows up and is like, hey, no Gruber grabbing, and Lucy is like, Dad, and the dude is like, whoa, I was only grabbing Grubers because you said your dad was dead.
I may have exaggerated.
No one wants to grab some booby with an alive father. That'd be weird.
Chicks, right?
So that, along with the fact that John is full-on divorced and now full-on bald, is basically all the emotional backstory we need. Otherwise, he's still an NYPD cop, and as such, is the local law enforcement tapped to pick up some hacker dude named Matt in New Jersey, where in the grand old tradition of Die Hard, he technically has no jurisdiction. Honestly, I'm struggling to believe that Matt is a hacker because he's clearly a Mac guy.
Got a lot of shit for it as a kid. Please don't add to it.
Great. Bye. Wait.
And is apparently super into Flyleaf of all bands. Remember Flyleaf? Statistically, if you're watching this video, you definitely do. And also, you probably need an Advil. Remember to stretch, Flyleaf fans. My neck hurts. Unfortunately, Matt forgot to check to see if there were any bombs in his computer. Again, computer nerds, they don't know anything about hardware. And he's about to explode himself when John knocks on the door and they banter a bit because John's a fun cop now.
Play with dolls.
And Matt's a fun hacker.
Where'd you get that? Toys R Us?
And they're probably going to become best friends, maybe even fall in love, move to Vermont, open up a bed and breakfast. I mean, we'll see where the movie takes us. The bad guys, meanwhile, have apparently sent a sniper and a whole-ass death squad in case Matt doesn't explode himself. But like, if you have those, why not just start there? If you have the ability to sneak into his apartment and plant an entire bomb in his computer, why not just wait until he comes home and then like download a bullet into his penis? Why plant a bomb and set up to snipe him in the penis? And actually, we later learned that all the hackers hired by Sexy Voice Lady were killed by C4, and that just feels like a dead giveaway to the authorities that something is a little bit off. If all those guys just disappeared quietly and were buried in a bunch of empty lots, law enforcement would think that they are just hiding on account of being black hat hackers, but now they have smoldering, flaming proof that something is amiss.
Are you really trying to escape?
But I guess it's fine because Matt tries to escape out the window, but the world's worst sniper ever tries and fails to shoot him. Looks like you should have done a close-range penis shot, huh? I love how basically every movie in existence with a world-class bad guy sniper has them miss 95% of their shots, especially when shooting at some panicky civilian out in the open. Maybe have better KD ratio standards than friggin' Fortnite clans? Like, has a movie ever successfully assassinated anybody with a sniper rifle early on?
I mean, it's not a movie, but Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Oh, JFK?
Oh, yeah, JFK. Yeah,
it's not a movie, but you remember the JFK thing?
Yeah, they got his ass.
I get that if you kill them immediately, the movie's over, but they never have a reason they miss other than, sometimes you're not on your game. Maybe you didn't sleep well the night before, or maybe you ate a bunch of Arby's and it's hard to line up a shot when watery diarrhea is actively leaking through your combat pants. Basically, don't judge someone until you've a beef and cheddar through their combat pants. Post-traumatic disorder is real. You gotta walk a mile in their shoes and get a beef and cheddar in their pants. Then you can know someone. But okay, other dudes are now moving in, but John Guyver obliterates them with fire extinguishers and wall punches, and these dudes' extreme aggression accidentally activates the computer bomb, but on themselves. Later, when they hop in the car, one last bad guy runs up and just tries to choke John to death. Do you not have a gun? Why would you choke him? Want to keep your kill quiet at the scene of an explosion?
It's just like, I've always wanted to strangle somebody.
We sent in our 10 toughest stranglers. Okay, well, they have guns. Yeah, but these guys,
how scary is that?
So scary. Naturally, John slams that dude into a trash can. And even though the sniper is, I guess, super good at parkour, he's not particularly good at not getting slammed by cars. This is straight up the weirdest, least effective terrorist plan of all time, which in this franchise is saying something.
Is the circus in town?
Circus! Those two guys don't die hard, though, and they live so free that they call their boss, Thomas Gabriel, to be like, here's everything you need to know, but in French. And Thomas is like, well, here are your instructions in English. And it very much feels like Han Solo chatting with Chewbacca, which actually may explain all the choking. Chewie, I need you to fix the hyperdrive. He's like, don't say that about my mother.
Again, it's like poetry.
Back at FBI headquarters, they're like, damn, dog, we got 7 dead hackers? This is starting to feel intentional, which is what I was Just saying. And then, the DC Traffic Authority is hit with a hack, so dump trucks be slamming cars harder than Dave used to slam dump trucks before he got dump truck syphilis. He went from DTF to DTS. But wait, before that, Matt made sure to establish that he's cool and young, and that he's hackery and paranoid.
I got a big damn problem with the news. You ready for this? The news is gay.
We'll have more at 11.
Wow. But okay, yeah, truck slams in the conversation before Matt can give his very nuanced thoughts on women and immigration, and they abandon their car, but only after John says what I say after concluding a good hacky sack session.
Get your bag, hack boy.
Hey, is it weird that actually the most prominently featured city in the series is Washington, D.C., a place John's never technically worked? 50% of the time, the movies take place here. Seems like they should beef up their security a little bit? No, not like that. The hackers aren't finished, and they also set off a bunch of anthrax alarms.
That's the anthrax alarm.
And tricked Wall Street into crashing the stock market, and considering this is 2007, I'm pretty sure that part was going to happen regardless. Also, I guess hacking is a lot easier than I thought. Apparently you could just hack anything, and like all at once? Well, thank goodness nobody does in real life. Matt is delivered to the FBI's mobile van or whatever, just in time for an
unauthorized broadcast.
It's basically one of those YouTube videos where they stitch together an entire Eminem song, but with clips from Family Guy, except it's a terrorist thing with president clips. No, not that one.
It is time to ride fear into.
Although yes, today they would just AI this shit and have a deep fake of the current president with D-cup boobies delivering the entire speech in a Gilbert Gottfried voice. And anyway, Matt's like, oh shit.
It's a fire sale.
Oh. Basically, the idea is that somebody invented the idea of like, what if you crashed every single thing at like the same time? That would be worse than if you crashed just one thing at a time. Can you imagine that happening? Only genius hackers would come up with an idea of breaking more than one thing at a time.
Keep your voice down, okay?
The FBI really wants to interrogate Matt now because he's a genius hacker and a lot of the other genius hackers have exploded. So, John, can you drive him to like an interrogation room or something? Maybe get him some food? Like, what do hackers eat? Mountain Dew and anime DVDs? We're in no rush. And we forgot to bring our waterboarding equipment. Should we waterboard him with Mountain Dew? I don't know. So they do that, and wisely, they don't stop at an Arby's.
We just passed another Arby's, and I'm starving.
They don't know this, but this scene basically just saved the entire world. You think John and Matt could fight off supervillain terrorist helicopters and an F-35 while fighting Arby diarrhea? Think again, bucko. Conversely, the terrorists are clearly working out of there because, again, they keep pooping their combat pants. C4 has nothing on B in C4. That's the tactical name for beef and cheddars. Matt explains that he works on cybersecurity and he was contracted to test a system, but actually it looks like his code, along with the other 7 dead dudes' codes, is being used to fire sale the whole damn country.
I'm telling you, I had no idea I was going to be an accessory to Armageddon.
Wait, shut up, Matt. Do you hear a sexy voice on the radio?
Take the next left at Lexington. Man, that's a sexy voice.
That's damn fine police work, Sergeant.
John, try to trick that sexy voice into revealing it's not actually a sexy cop voice, but a sexy terrorist. What's that, Dave? All terrorists are sexy? Pfft, hard disagree.
Yeah, you had to dispatch a bunch of units for all the naked people walking around? Cut the bullshit, honey, and put your actual boss on.
He succeeds, so she shamefully, but still sexily, hands the phone over to Gabriel, who immediately fire sales John, but like emotionally.
Well, that's sad. You're divorced.
Then he kills John's 401k and shit, and like, this is why I should be the savior of humanity. I'd be completely immune to this shit. I don't have a 401k, I'm still married, and I'm much wittier than John McClane.
I think I'm gonna have to jerk off.
Like right now.
Right now?
Yeah. Terrorism would end instantly. Helicopter attack! Right around here is where I realized, wait, is this PG-13? Where's the blood? The swears? The random posters of naked women? This movie really is for Gen Z. I weep for that generation. They may never experience the pure horror of getting blasted with an out-of-nowhere sex scene in the middle of an action movie you were watching with your parents. That toughens you up. Those are the hard times that create hard men. Not like that.
I think I'm gonna have to jerk off.
Stop saying that!
John steals a cop car and blasts a dude out of the helicopter by running over a fire hydrant because it still seems the terrorists still haven't learned how to fly helicopters above 20 feet. They're like noobs in Battlefield. Anyway, John escapes into a tunnel, but Gabriel diverts a bunch of traffic into the tunnel from both sides, and he kills the lights, which... shouldn't really matter that much. I don't know if you know this, but cars have headlights. Hell, most have daytime running lights. Have you ever noticed how we don't call nighttime Carmageddon? Car death o'clock?
Car death hour.
But these cars apparently refuse to tap the brakes despite it being very obvious that 100 cars are coming from the other direction, so they just blast into each other so hard they literally achieve liftoff. Oh my god, it's 3,000 cars!
The brakes, David!
Brakes! What brakes?
Anyway, so John steals another car and flies it into the helicopter because I cannot stress how bad at flying helicopters these guys are. They're as bad at that as John is at marriage. Are all terrorists afraid of heights? Speaking of, hot hacker puts on an FBI outfit, kisses Gabriel, and hops on another helicopter that I'm sure is just gonna freaking drag along the ground to wherever she's going using sled dogs. How many helicopters do these terrorists have? Because spoiler alert, as far as I can tell, this is Gabriel's first mission, and there's no reason to believe that he's independently rich, nor that he's got some rich benefactor or something. Like, could you take out small business loans against terrorism? I don't know, but elsewhere, some other bad guys in a hazmat truck roll up and enter some server room, and they plug in basically every single possible input 2007 had to offer, including a CD-ROM.
Do you have a strange mix of like Linkin Park and Mastodon? Like,
Wall Street has crashed. It won't stop playing Numb. I've become so sell.
He's in.
I sure hope so. That was a lot of inputs. Usually people go into incognito mode to see that many holes filled. Then they broadcast a video of the Capitol building. Except twist, it didn't actually explode. The phone lines are mostly down, but Matt remembers he's wearing a hacker fanny pack that he can use to access satellites or like the ghost in the machine or something. And he looks up the location of the utility hub powering the entire East Coast, because after all, the terrorists will need to knock out the power if they want to do a full fire sale. But that part of the sale has to be done manually. So John and Matt, they should go there to make them not do that. Road trip again. More like drive hard with a venge. Live free or drive. Scooter free or drive hard. I don't know. Walk free or dive hard? Drive hard? I'm so bad at titles.
Come on, get in. Door's locked.
Well, not until Matt does a little social hacking.
Please start the goddamn car.
Oh, yeah! Even though it'd be 100 times easier and faster to just steal a normal car, but whatever. I guess it's fun to just let Justin Long cook. He is one of the co-founders of Long John Silver's, after all. Did you know that? It's true, look it up. Cutie Hacker gets there first, despite probably flying the helicopter 6 inches off the road and obeying all traffic laws. And they instantly start blasting, which makes me wonder what the point of wearing the FBI disguise was. Did they need that extra 5 seconds of confusion? If so, they should have dressed up as clowns. That would get you like 10 seconds of solid usable confusion. Well, man, I'm so much better at terrorism than actual terrorists, and you can quote me on that. Anyway, now they're preparing the power grid to be shut down. Oh no, the fire, it's on sale. Holy shit. John and Matt show up, and Matt tries to hack while John battles both Cutie Hacker and his own deeply internalized racism.
There's enough of this kung fu.
How do you know it's not Krav Maga, John? I guess he doesn't double tap her, which is progress. And then she kicks him out a window, so he grabs a truck and somehow slams her into an elevator shaft.
Very progressive.
Where they kung fu for a while longer. Another dude shows up, and Matt takes him out, and then eventually the car explodes, so Cutie Hacker dies, but John's racism, it goes into overdrive.
Oh, you know what? I bet you're still on hold with "Can I get another dead Asian hooker bitch over here right away?"
Oh boy, Zeus was right about you, white man. Gabriel is so offended, he reroutes a bunch of gas to the station, and I guess that causes the gas to halt and catch fire and explode. I don't know how that works, but it doesn't work because Matt and John hop in an invincible van to not die. That thing's like the opposite of a Cybertruck. Okay, so now we know fridges for nuclear blasts and vans for gas explosions.
What's the point, man?
By the way, apparently Thomas Gabriel used to work for the government and was like, hey, all your shit's susceptible to hacking. And they're like, nuh-uh, you suck? And they were very mean to him. So here he is, being mean to them by, among other things, killing all the power everywhere, probably causing a lot of divorces as PS5 suddenly stopped working. That last tenuous thread has been severed. Love is dead. Matt's like, okay, I have one last card to play.
We gotta go see the Warlock. It's our only hope.
Wait, the brownie f***ing Warlock from Little Debbie Snacks?
Little Debbie Snack Cake.
Brownie f***ing warlock.
Oh, you mean another hacker guy. That makes more sense. Well, let's go steal the helicopter. How hard can it be?
Just stick it in there. That'll work.
At the Warlock's house, it's Gears of War o'clock, baby. Best time of day. As you might expect from a secondary hacker character in a 2007 action movie starring Bruce Willis, this guy's annoying as shit.
Why'd you bring a cop into my command center?
But also he's competent, sort of. I mean, he discovers that the terrorists are hacking a super secret extra server farm somewhere, but also he doesn't mask his IP address at all, and they immediately know who he is and hack his camera and call him directly. Might as well have posters of your driver's license and social security card behind you. I guess he's more of an offense player than a defense player, I guess. John chats with Gabriel, who's like, I'm gonna grab your daughter and do really nothing to her. That was more of a monkey than an evil laugh. What the why can't I only do monkey laughs?
Make a joke. Say something funny.
Okay. What do cats put in their scotch glasses? Some ice. Please don't kill my daughter. During this, Warlock manages to track Gabriel's location, so they both suck at defense. Hackers are just out there naked with rocket launchers, blasting away, hoping they're just a quicker shot than the other guys. Metaphorically, like in the computer realm, like in Tron.
That's a metaphor.
Speaking of, Gabriel shoots most of his hackers for some reason. Did all of them sleep with his sister? That's why Dave's the only terrorist I'll work with. Most are Osama bin untrustworthy. We later learn that he's basically hacking a computer system that he envisioned, so obviously he would be the first suspect. So did he kill them so that he wouldn't have to share his plunder with them? Well, he's essentially stealing all of America's GDP, like trillions of dollars. He could give every person in the room 100 billion each and still barely notice it. I think he's just being mean for no reason. Anyway, John and Matt drive to wherever they are and intentionally trip an alarmed signal to the FBI, who, by the way, just realized that if a fire sale were to occur, all the financial information everywhere would be diverted to this random secret NSA server that Gabriel has already penetrated, meaning he could own, like, all the money? He knows this because it was his idea, even though apparently he effectively pissed everybody in the government off on his first day when he brought up the security stuff. But they also liked his idea to consolidate all financial information in one secret server basically only he knew about, and then they fired him in disgrace. Well, that seems unwise. If anybody ever deserved to be doged, it'd be those guys. Whatever, a bad guy sneaks up behind John and Matt and doesn't instantly shoot them both in the head? Is he arresting them? Does he feel the need to interrogate them or something? Is he a catch and release guy? They have literally been trying to kill these two guys for the entire film to this point. They put a bomb in Matt's computer to start the movie. But no, we don't want to rush this. Ah, shit. John kills that guy, of course, but Matt gets separated and he falls into like a really cold room. He's probably shriveled AF.
Testicles in his knees are ticking time bombs.
John then dicks with Gabriel over the radio because John loves dicking with people over the radio.
I think Russo's on his way down to meet your girlfriend, dickhead.
He loves it so much that he married it, then had a divorce from it.
That's right.
But like, at what point does Gabriel just shoot John's daughter? They act like he needs her for leverage, but John's doing whatever the hell he wants.
You need a bargaining chip.
And realistically, it might slow him down more if he has to emotionally grapple with the guilt stemming from his daughter being killed from his inability to stop diving headfirst into every insane terrorist situation, which, hey, is it weird that not only has John been involved in 4 major terrorist events, but that all but one of them weren't even terrorist events? I guess they're not terrorists. They're thieves, but they're stealing a despot. 4 times in a row now, they've all actually been thieves or something, pretending to be terrorists. They only blew up things ironically. Like, what are the odds? I have technically fought more terrorists than John McClane because Dave and I had a very tense argument earlier about what to get for lunch.
Sorry.
Back to Lucy, they could at least torture her or find some way to slow John down. If they threw one of her arms out into the air vent that he's crawling through, I think that would make him think twice about his plan. But they don't, because it's PG-13. Ooh, wow, brutal. That was a brutal slap to her face. Side note, I usually like this actor, but man, he sucks a fat one in this movie, huh?
I'm working my ass off here.
I would not have guessed that.
Matt hacks into the thing and encrypts it before they can grab him, and this is neither here nor there, but the continuity feels way off, and there seems to be a ton of ADR. Is this movie kind of bad?
Yes, it is. Please be quiet.
No, I've watched every Leprechaun movie. You can't intimidate me.
The wee people have their magical way.
Speaking of, John fights the parkour sniper, who reminds him of several animals.
Damn hamster. Stay still, spider boy.
But also, he gets him, like, so cold, and he falls into some spinning blades, so I don't know, guess that's the end of that guy. Now there's poop all over those blades, I guess. Oh, no! Matt and Lucy are put in a van, and also there's a big old truck, and they're driving away, but John hops on the truck, kills the driver, and so now there's a relatively slow chase to go with this pretty slow plot, because I guess the van can't figure out how to shake a semi-truck. Granted, they are a little distracted with constantly yelling at Matt to get rid of the encryption thing that he put on the financial stuff. And also, they're able to trick a fighter pilot into blowing up the truck and also like half of the DC interstate system. Feels like we should not just fire missiles indiscriminately around the capital of the entire country, but then again, it's probably really difficult to take out a truck with a fighter jet.
I don't think Daddy's coming.
You're right. I'm not. Pretty sure that we could fire a missile from DC and hit Toyota in Saudi Arabia right now if we wanted to. But yeah, but actually, as always, it's fine because even this literally fighter jet only flies about 9 feet off the ground and it's taken out by a falling box. Jesus Christ, if your supersonic jet can be destroyed by a random box, then I think maybe you're flying a little low. This is doubly true if a guy's able to jump onto your jet. Damn it! Everyone in this movie is reverse Icarusing things. The actual pilot ejects, so we don't have to feel like John killed an innocent moron with a truck box, and then yeah, he rides that to the ground. I know I'm not the first person to point this out, but it's insane that we've gone from cleverly taking out terrorists one by one in an office building to literally riding jet planes to the ground and rolling off them as they explode. He's not a cop anymore, he's actual Superman. One of the guys who punches up jokes on these scripts believes that the way to explain this is that the first 3 films are what actually happened to John McClane, while the last 2, like these later 2, are based on a true story Hollywood blockbuster movies that are about John McClane. That's why this one kind of loosely hits the same plot points as the first, but with larger stakes, like the whole country instead of one building, and modern updates like, you know, digital financial stuff instead of bearer bonds, which don't exist anymore. This also explains old Bruce Willis. Like usually in based on a true story movies, they end up casting big name actors who are like 10 to 20 years too old for the role, and instead of casting an old wife to match, they cast a young hot daughter. Makes as much sense as John's suddenly super heroism, because again, none of this fazed him in the slightest. Was this all explained better in the article? Doesn't matter. Nothing matters. Gabriel finally shoots Matt in the leg and threatens to kill Lucy, so Matt's like, fine, I'll undo the encryption thing. Seems unfair that you offered to make John rich, but you shoot me in the leg. But of course, then John shows up just blasting.
And yeah, technically this is a murder.
Lucy gets a brief Rambo moment, but ultimately John's shot in the shoulder and grabbed by Gabriel, but actually it's fine because he shoots Gabriel's gun through himself, who instead of living free, he dies. Hard. Matt shoots the other guy and Lucy says what my kids say when I tell them we're heading to Arby's for dinner.
Daddy, you're out of your mind.
The movie ends with Lucy reconsidering her position on titty grabbing, at least where Matt's concerned, because character arc. And if you look at the arc, it kind of looks like a boob.
Wow.
Don't even think about it. How did you know what I was thinking about?
Mr. Breeding!
I don't think he knows that we can hear that.
I hear him clear as day. Well, I'm wearing Raycon, but he can't hear
Rookie mistake. So apparently I watched the extended cut of this movie, which mostly means they cut out all of Lucy's scenes for some reason. Probably thought it'd muddy the waters too much to include an extremely talented actress.
These movies are popcorn movies.
I know, but it
sucks! We're not here for acting. We're here for shooting and hard dying and exploding sounds over a black screen. Perfect. I usually just listen to Die Hard while I do the dishes or whatever, just like you turds all do with Dr. Jordan breeding videos. I know who you are. Dave's entire butthole is out right now, but you never know because you're selfish. You can wash your dishes, but you can never wash your lies.
One person that's watching this while driving is like, what? What's that?
Oh, also, this is kind of what I predicted earlier. The movie hasn't technically started and it's already blowing up. Like, there's nothing even on screen yet. Anyway, after that, some news is like, oh man, Yuri's on trial and Russians are mad about it in both directions, and he's gonna testify against the Russian defense minister,
Viktor Chagarin.
But also, apparently, Yuri is a billionaire, so I could care less what happens to either of these dudes.
They both suck, but you know, at least somebody's gonna get hurt.
They'll float to Moscow.
Whoops, no subtitles. Anyway, Victor's like, give me the file, Yuri, but Yuri's like, no, I won't
give you the file. Also,
your move on my chessboard. It's very tense. Hey, why do scheming characters in every movie play chess? Why doesn't anyone play Parcheesi or Hungry Hungry Hippos or something not for freaking total dorks? Russians, am I right? What are they doing over there? Best allies ever. Love those guys. They never do anything wrong. At CIA HQ, a lady's like, we gotta do something about gestures broadly. Can you imagine? And then in Moscow, a sexy biker lady appears and says things like, you gotta make the call. And in general, this movie is extremely Bourne-coded. Shaky camera, spy shit, cars?
Now why would I know that?
Speaking of, probably a spy guy walks through the least sanitary kitchen I've ever seen. Second least sanitary kitchen I've ever seen.
We have the
everywhere! Before shooting a dude in the head on behalf of Yuri. He's arrested and promises to testify that Yuri hired him to shoot the dude. And hey, unrelated thought, will I be placed next to Yuri in the courtroom? Because that'd be really cool if that were to happen after my super good testimony that I'm definitely gonna give. And the guy's like, sure. Meanwhile, in America, John McClane receives a file that's like, hey, your son's detained in Russia for shooting people in the head and stuff.
Is that it?
And he's like, I don't understand. I do that all the time. I just shot a guy outside of here so he wouldn't take the good parking spot ahead of me. What, is that a crime in Russia? I don't understand. John's like, well, I guess I'd better go break him out of a Russian prison. Usually that'd be impossible for a dad, even an NYPD dad. But John McClane isn't even a man at this point. He can implode Russian prisons with just the power of a few good jerk-offs.
Daddy, chill.
I'm sure you'll be fine, Poppy.
Good luck, Poppy.
So now John's in Russia, and he sucks at speaking the language because, he's old and American, and...
No sex.
Oh, I think John thought Dave was talking here. Dave loves old American men for sex. That's why he keeps trying to figure out where they shoot the Golden Bachelor. I only have eyes for my wife, personally. Join my Patreon so I can take her to Russia and get a taxi ride from what appears to be the friendliest man in all of Russia. He sings for you.
I want to wake up in the city that never sleeps.
He doesn't let you pay.
No money, you let me sing.
He offers to take you to sex clubs just full of American men that are old. Wait, why do I want to take my wife there? I don't remember why. Must have had a weird day when I wrote that joke. But no, John hops out, watches his son go into a courthouse, and then he just kind of stands there for a while. You know, he's taking in the sights. Because this movie has an hour-and-a-half runtime, but only an hour of plot. And even that's probably generous. Inside, the son is placed next to Yuri. Hooray, he got his wish. It's a Christmas miracle.
What's a bad miracle?
Oh, but then boo, they both get exploded. Dudes in masks pour into the breach. In POV, you're wearing a wacky yellow filter mask, which can't possibly make your job easier. Like, what does that filter out? Why would you ever want a yellow mask? The son grabs Yuri and they escape, and like, damn.
We need this file.
I don't even remember which character said that, but it's true of all characters. All characters need this file. Damn, we gotta get this file, Dave. Shit. I'm so invested in whether they get the file. But right as they prepare to escape an event,
Jack, Dad.
Holy shit. That's John's son? And his name is Jack, like the O-Lantern?
Jack, Dad.
They treat this like a big reveal, but I mean, if you saw any trailers, the poster, or have ever watched any movie ever, or, oh right, watched the earlier scene where he's shown a picture of him and says,
still my kid.
Then yeah, you'd have pieced together that this guy was John's son.
Jack is short for John.
The bigger surprise is, oh man, swearing is back, baby. So back. More back than ever, the swearing is. Yuri and son drive away, which does sound like a pretty awesome moving company. Or maybe like an HVAC repair company. Yuri and son, we are here to fix all problems. Okay, it's just the HVAC though. And who broke this HVAC? Nope, I don't know, the wind or something.
I will make them wish.
I will make them wish they had never been born. The wind? Anyway, Yuri and son drive away, leaving John to deal with all the shooting of people. They're pursued by like an Arby truck thing for a full 10 straight minutes of runtime eating, and I'm fairly certain that Mad Max Fury Road is based off this sequence. George Miller's a hack. To be totally honest, it's actually pretty sweet. Lots of real cars seem to get smashed, and when they do use CG, it fits pretty well. There's a decent sense of scale, and I don't know. I don't love car chases as a rule, and nothing will ever beat the one in The Raid 2 or Dave's senior year prank.
This is a fantastic senior prank.
This was fun. During this endless chase, however,
Jack
won't be able to extract Yuri because their window of opportunity is closed because John delayed them by like 17 extremely critical seconds, which they say was a 6-minute delay. So maybe movie seconds work like dog years? Maybe this entire movie takes place over the course of a year? Who's to say? So instead, they have to escape to a safe house. That may sound tough, but John helps by stealing a truck and slamming people, and then when the bad guys RPG that truck to death, he steals a different vehicle and slams even more people. We're only one clown driving an ice cream truck away from this being twisted metal.
I'm getting out of here, and I'm taking your truck.
Sounds crazy, but during all this, he still has time for some signature one-liners.
Guess who?
Honestly, I have no idea.
Literally, how would he know who you are? You're just some random asshole who won't stop hitting our car unless... Wait, did you maybe once save all of the United States from a fire sale? Oh my god, that was you? Can I have an autograph? But wait, still, how in the world did you catch up to us after you whole-ass flipped your truck? How did you even know where we were going? Oh god, pit maneuver, kind of. For literally no reason at all, John tries to get killed by the bad guys real quick. Like, what's he doing? Trying to save the police down there? You don't even have cover, much less a gun. You can't always rely on everybody in the universe being pilots or impossibly inaccurate and or bullets suddenly being too weak to punch through a guardrail. Whatever, he's picked up by Jack so they can yell at each other a bunch more on the way to their very safe house.
Papa Geppetto.
And at the safe house, John finally learns what Jack does for a living.
Spot shit.
It's not entirely clear if he prefers that or if it was better when John thought that his son just murdered random Russian gangsters for fun. Why couldn't you do something cool like become an alcoholic cop in New York and then briefly in LA, then back in New York while doing at least half of your main work in Washington, D.C.? That's the family business. Whatever. Jack's partner is like, okay, Yuri.
You have the file.
Only if my sexy biker daughter can come with us. And they're like,
fine.
File? And he's like, okay, the key is hidden in a nearby hotel. Blam! Yuri shot in the arm. Blam!
I just died.
Partner guy shot in the head. Oh, the action never stops! Wow!
He's about at his limit.
Pew, pew!
Were you on the edge of your seat the entire movie?
Ironically, I guess the sniper actually hit a guy. They finally fixed that problem.
It was try day.
Well, he missed the important guy, hit him in the arm. The unimportant guy, headshot, instant kill. Jack grabs Yuri while John kills 15 people with a machine gun that he saw lying on a table, because a dad never just lets his son win in basketball or mini golf or in killing random Russians. They need to earn it. Then Jack and then they escape.
This is nuts.
Agreed. Call me Mr. Peanut because of like how nuts this is. And also because I like to walk around my house naked wearing nothing but a top hat, a monocle, and a cane. Both are reasons to call me Mr. Peanut. Anyway, still gotta get to that hotel, but first, why don't we let the old men have a heart-to-heart about working too much while Jack weepily eavesdrops from around the corner like
Fighting time?
Oh God, Jenny! Neither the time nor the place! Also, shouldn't John be retired by now? Like, again, how does he not have a Nike endorsement or something?
That's brisk, baby.
He single-handedly thwarted terrorist thieves on 4 separate occasions now. Surely that's worthy of a couple lucrative State Farm commercials. Like a good neighbor, State Farm will f***ing murder anybody who gives you shit with the help of John McClane. He already shot the Mayhem guy from Allstate. Be like, well, I gotta get some State Farm shit.
Scared not to.
Daihatsu Mirai.
Anyway, John bribes their way into the building because even though this movie acts like they're doing spy shit, they're really just doing Rambo shit, and finding a way to steal disguises or come up with a plan would be spy shit, which they're not doing. Not saying Rambo's big into bribing people, but he would if it was written like a joke, like this is. Rambo's very silly. Famously silly. Once inside, Yuri hugs all over his smoking hot daughter.
Papa, that's tender.
And spicy. I think somebody ate some Arby's.
Smells bad.
But then actually he's like, no, wait, this is probably a trap. Jack, the literal spy, is like, no, you're paranoid.
Just stop, okay? Well,
I'm starting to understand why his prison escape plan was so dumb. You work for the CIA. Shouldn't paranoid be like your default? Shouldn't you be seeing danger and enemies at every turn? Isn't that like one of the requirements for doing spy shit? It's just like a hotel. You think they can fit bad guys in here? That's crazy.
But I am a Marriott Rewards member. Do you think they would trap me here?
For 500 points, we won't trap you in the hotel.
And you get free breakfast.
Holy... What? But John's like, no, I 100% think this is a trap. But also, I will take no steps to prevent said trap from being sprung.
Welcome, America.
Oh, Oh my god, it was!
This is a ploy. No. It's a ruse. No. It's an ambush. No.
Oh, it was a trap. The main guy pops out, chomping on a carrot like Bugs Bunny and or like Clive Owen in Shoot 'Em Up, who was actually doing a Bugs Bunny, actually. And or like an actual rabbit, and or like a furry completely committed to the bit, and or like Steven Seagal, and the daughter's like, haha.
Do it! Kalel, no!
Ultimate betrayal. They're gonna give me money, which I need because you were a bad daddy, Yuri.
I said he used to be a piece of shit.
I thought you were a problem child.
Hilarious, John. You and your son are probably gonna get murdered now. Also, John, I'm pretty sure there are several child custody court records that point the problem arrow in your direction on that one, bud. Then they shoot John and Jack in the head and then piss on their corpses and the movie ends. Thanks, guys. What a crazy series. That's it for 2025. What a crazy year. I can't believe we have 2 billion subscribers. Suck my butt, Mr. Beast.
We still need him.
Wait, what? Need him for what? All that State Farm sponsorship money he doesn't have? Also, which him do you need? Of what possible use could either of these men be to you at this point, other than target practice? Do you need them because their laughs are so infectious and laughter is the best medicine? Which you will need once Jack gets loose and yeah, there he goes. John and Jack kill most of the people in the room by shooting glass on them. Oh my god, maybe they're X-Men now? And also by shooting, they also kill them by shooting bullets on them.
Bullets. I only witnessed.
As the main bad characters escape to a helicopter. Naturally, they lowly fly the helicopter towards our intrepid heroes and they start blasting, forcing the two of them to escape via scaffolding. And I know this series is completely stupid at this point and nothing matters, but is there no Russian authority that'd be upset by a military helicopter shooting up a Marriott in the middle of Moscow? I assume they're bribing the army officials with points. I get that these guys are maybe working on behalf of the defense minister, but I don't know, seems like there'd be some fallout from something like this. Like every Russian has a dash cam. Somebody's definitely getting footage of this. But of course, as I've said, nothing matters. So now Jack and John share a really long heart-to-heart about father and son things and how nobody cares about Lucy, especially the editor of this here extended cut. And oh, by the way, this super important file
in the file
is apparently about Chernobyl and how Yuri and Victor caused the meltdown by stealing uranium from it or something. So this establishes both how bad Victor is and why he shouldn't be the president of Russia or whatever. And thusly, that's also why the file. Oh my god, it's so important.
I need that file, Alec.
And also, it sort of reminds me of how much better Chernobyl the show is compared to this movie. So I guess we're headed to Chernobyl to get that file? Hope we can outrun a freaking helicopter with a minimum 2-hour head start. Guess we need to steal a car.
Oh, stealing. That's nice.
What? You're stealing a car literally right now. Your lockpick is in the lock? What are you talking about?
We're going to Chernobyl.
Yes, I know. I'm just... whatever, you're both idiots. John and Jack have even more heart-to-hearts while they drive.
When's the last time we were in a car together?
But like, I think we should let John sleep, right? He's old, injured, and jet-lagged. Creating several international incidents really tuckers a senior out in my experience. You can talk later after you've saved... Russia? Huh. Why do we want to save Russia? Why is that the premise of this film? They're like, what? Can you imagine if Russia had a bad president? I'm like... if we're that worried about it, maybe we should send more than one guy and his dad. It's either a much bigger job or like we should just leave it alone. Because yeah, if a guy like Victor became president, Russia might really get out of control and sponsor terrorist groups and prop up authoritarian regimes and attack innocent countries. Can you imagine a crapsack world like that? We better send Jack and his dad, and actually not even his dad just came of his own volition.
I'm on vacation.
I just mean like his plan the entire time is to kill a dude so that he gets put on trial next to a dude he wants to break out of jail. Again, all of this by himself. And then he's going to take that dude and interrogate him to get a file that will make the president not allowed to be president. I guess there was one other guy who got shot in the head. Anyway, turns out the file is inside a radioactive vault, I guess, and it takes apparently as long to open as it does for John and Jack to make up how crazy far behind they are, because it's still not open by the time they arrive. Jack quips that he's got no real plan and they're just gonna make up and kill people as if that's John's whole thing, but it really isn't.
Old school, man. Like you, right?
I mean, it's become his thing, I guess. But in the first movie, he really did a lot of intentional planning, trying to get messages out and mess mess with terrorist plans and stuff. I just feel like what was appealing about him originally was that he thought through what he needed to do. But now it's like, why would he? He's literally invincible. Sensible footwear take care of his one known weakness. Does Thor need to plan how to kill 1,000 dark elves or whatever the shit? No!
I'm sorry I f***ed up your day.
Oh, poignant. Wow. Very meaningful. I mean, we know literally not a single thing about their relationship, but imagine if a dad ever said sorry. The movies, am I right? Flights of fancy. Can't believe they invented the concept of a dad apologizing for this movie. It's like, wow, I'd never even heard of such a thing.
Yeah, I'm about to cry and have a heart attack and my pants all at the same time.
So they run in there wearing zero radiation protection whatsoever because Americans are naturally immune to radiation if it's communist. And finally Yuri gets into the vault. And yes, that is full of communist radiation, but, well, they have a magic spray that makes the radiation stop. You know, stop radiating and also stop advocating for the redistribution of wealth. Because here's the thing, twist, Yuri and his daughter have been working together. And in the vault isn't so much a file as 1 billion euros worth of enriched uranium that could be sold on the black market. They're thieves once again. I wonder if in his personal life, he just like assumes like the cashier at the grocery store is actually a thief. And like, maybe he divorced his wife because he's like, you have to be a thief. Everyone in my life is actually a thief. Yeah. You're a thief. And the fact that you can't admit it only proves to me more that you're a thief. The point is, they only made up the file thing so Victor would send dudes to break him out of prison. So Yuri kills the henchman guy.
That's a tough break for a good athlete.
I mean, I guess, you freaking weirdo. John's one-liners have mutated with his dad jokes to create awful abomination quips in this installment. And then a very enthusiastic masseuse kills Victor in the sauna, and again, why did we think we needed John and or Jack alive? Like, they'd be home clear right now if somebody had just shot them in the head back at the hotel. Seems like a major oversight. Sort of like this shirtless Russian wandering around friggin' Chernobyl. Famously not safe. Anyway, Jack and John quickly realize Yuri's betrayal, and they should just shoot Yuri in the head and be done with it, right? Victor's dead, and taking him out in one fashion or another was the whole goal? Like, they're here to get rid of Victor? And there's no reason to capture or evacuate Yuri, and it's not like Jack's opposed to just shooting random bad guys in cold blood like he did at the beginning of the movie, and John has a higher body count than Chernobyl, so just do it.
Not so fast.
Oh no, they're attacked.
A strange and shocking twist to the plot.
Nobody could have predicted this. It's like we kill people indiscriminately unless it would end the movie before the 90-minute mark. Again, you gotta have a code. John hucks a grenade, which in a video game would cause all the uranium to explode the entire country, but I guess that's not how it works in real life. And all of a sudden, Die Hard wants to show restraint and adhere to science laws. Speaking of, the bad guys take off on a helicopter yet again, so Jack and John split up, with Jack taking on the geriatric and an elderly John takes on an armed helicopter. Seems like the right split there. Eventually, Jack Gruber's Yuri, causing his daughter to decide this is a good day to die hard, and she freaking kamikazes the helicopter into the building, which is sort of the natural end game of Die Hard pilots. Like, the only way to constantly escalate how shitty these pilots are is to intentionally have them ramming buildings for no reason. Jack and John survive, of course, but John refuses to answer Jack until he finally calls him gay hard. Dad hard. Dad harder. Dad hard with a vengeance. Mom free or dad hard. A good day to dad hard.
Daddy's hard, so
let's blow up Russia. Then he gives Jack shit.
You call me dad?
Because yeah, John is a bad dad.
Have some respect for your father.
And it ends right there, because again, all the Lucy scenes got cut.
What are you doing?
You're my present this year.
Including ending on a sick-ass freeze frame.
It never happened.
Oh well, women have no place in dad hard. Merry Christmas! Yeah, I don't know. All that felt way too elaborate. I think I'm just gonna... Ah! I think I got him.
Yippee-ki-yay, Mr. Donut. Yippee-ki-yay, Mr. Donut.
That's a line. Hold on. Yippee-ki-yay.
Yippee-ki-yay.
Shut up.
Yippee-ki-yay?
Yeah, just yippee-ki-yay, Mr. Donut.
That doesn't feel right. Gone my whole life not knowing the line.